colossal fireball streaks across the sky, blazing brighter than a second sun, hurtling toward Earth at 40 times the speed of sound. In an instant, it slams into the Yucatan Peninsula with the force of 100 trillion tons of TNT, vaporizing rock and ocean in a cataclysmic explosion that shakes the planet to its core. Mountains rise and crumble like waves in minutes. Tsunamis surge hundreds of miles inland, and a shroud of dust eclipses the heavens, plunging the world into eternal night. Fires rage across continents. Acid rains scorch the land, and temperatures plummet into a frozen abyss. This is the moment 66 million years ago, when 3/4 of all life vanished, including the mighty dinosaurs. But what if this wasn't just a random rock from space? What if it was engineered, a deliberate strike from beyond our solar system? Could extraterrestrial intelligence have orchestrated this apocalypse? And if so, why? As we dig into the secrets of the Chicxulub crater, these questions linger without easy answers, pulling us deeper into the enigma of our planet's most transformative disaster. Picture the scene in vivid detail. The asteroid, roughly 10 kilometers wide, composed of carbonaceous chondrite, a dark, carbon-rich material from the outer reaches of our solar system, strikes at a steep angle of 60 degrees, maximizing devastation. The impact excavates a crater 180 kilometers across and 30 kilometers deep, ejecting billions of tons of molten rock and vaporized debris into the atmosphere. Superheated winds howl at over 1,000 kilometers per hour, incinerating forests and wildlife for thousands of kilometers. Earthquakes of magnitude 10 ripple outward, triggering volcanic eruptions and massive landslides. In the oceans, megatsunamis tower hundreds of meters high, flooding coastlines and depositing chaotic layers of sediment far inland. But the true killer emerges in the aftermath. A global dust cloud, laced with sulfur aerosols, blocks sunlight for years, halting photosynthesis and collapsing food chains. Temperatures drop by 10 to 15 degrees Celsius worldwide, creating an impact winter that starves herbivores, then carnivores, in a domino effect of extinction. This event marks the Cretaceous-Paleogene boundary, a thin clay layer in the geological record found across the globe, enriched with iridium, a rare metal on Earth, but abundant in asteroids. Discovered in 1980 by Luis Alvarez and his son Walter, this iridium spike was the smoking gun for an extraterrestrial cause. Their hypothesis, initially met with skepticism, proposed that the dust suppressed life, matching the fossil record's sudden vanishings. Yet, mysteries abound. Why does the iridium vary in concentration across sites? And how did some species, like crocodiles and turtles, endure while dinosaurs perished? These unanswered puzzles fuel wilder speculations. Could the asteroid have carried alien microbes, seeding new life amid the ruins? Or was it a fragment of a larger cosmic weapon, as some fringe theories suggest? Delving deeper, the Chicxulub crater itself harbors secrets that challenge our understanding. Buried under 1 kilometer of sediment in the Gulf of Mexico, it was first spotted in the 1970s by geophysicists Antonio Camargo and Glenn Penfield during oil surveys for Pemex. They noted a peculiar ring of gravity anomalies, a bullseye of distorted Earth's pull, indicating a massive underground structure. But it wasn't until 1990 that Alan Hildebrand and others connected it to the Extinction event, analyzing shocked quartz and tektite's glassy droplets formed in the impact's hellish heat. Drilling in 2016 by the International Ocean Discovery Program revealed a peak ring of granite, thrust upward from deep crust in mere minutes, confirming the crater's violent birth. Yet, why is the crater oval, not round? And what about the nearby Nadir crater off West Africa? Formed around the same time, could it be a sibling impactor, hinting at a barrage from space? Competing theories add layers of intrigue. While the asteroid impact is the leading explanation, some scientists point to the Deccan Traps in India, vast volcanic floods erupting around 66 million years ago, spewing sulfur and carbon dioxide that could have caused gradual climate chaos. Did volcanoes weaken ecosystems, making the asteroid the final blow? Or was it the other way around? Unsolved debates rage. Fossil records show dinosaur diversity declining 10 million years before the impact in some regions, yet thriving in others. This patchwork thriving raises questions: were dinosaurs already doomed, or did the asteroid seal their fate? Bizarre ideas emerge from the fringes. One speculates that dinosaurs suffered from allergies to evolving flowering plants, their pollen triggering mass die-offs. Another imagines caterpillars devouring foliage en masse, starving herbivores. But the most tantalizing? Extraterrestrial intervention. Imagine this. What if the Chicxulub impactor wasn't a natural asteroid, but a directed UFO? Online forums like Quora buzz with hypotheticals. Suppose it was an alien spacecraft, crashing or intentionally detonating to reshape Earth. Proponents cite ancient myths, Mayan legends of falling stars and cataclysms, or Egyptian tales of celestial battles. Some link it to the Tunguska event of 1908, a Siberian explosion often attributed to a meteor but whispered as a UFO mishap. In science fiction tropes, like phlebotinum killed the dinosaurs, advanced aliens use mysterious energy to wipe out dominant species, paving the way for new intelligence. Real-world parallels fuel the fire. The Y-Files podcast explores UFO crashes and autopsied aliens, suggesting governments hide extraterrestrial artifacts. Could Chicxulub debris hold alien tech? Drilling samples show unusual chromium isotopes, hinting at origins in the outer solar system. But what if that's a cover for something engineered? These notions, while speculative, highlight unsolved mysteries. Why did the asteroid originate from beyond Jupiter, as 2024 studies confirm via ruthenium isotopes? Baptistina family asteroids, once suspects, broke apart 80 million years ago, too recent for orbital shifts, per NASA's Wide Field Infrared Survey Explorer. And the Tanis site in North Dakota preserves a deathbed of fossils, with impact spherules embedded in fish gills, capturing the disaster's first hours. Yet, controversies swirl. Was the site leader, Robert De Palma, exaggerating claims? Amber from Tanis holds microtectites, but skeptics demand more proof. Deeper enigmas persist. How did life rebound so fast? Within years, marine microbes colonized the crater, thanks to nutrient-rich currents. Lessons for today's ocean dead zones from pollution. Ponder this open question. If aliens did intervene, what was their motive? To eliminate threats like intelligent dinosaurs, as Reddit jests, they built pyramids, or to seed mammalian evolution, leading to us? Ancient elongated skulls found worldwide fuel ancient aliens theories. Were they hybrids? UFO sightings in history, like the 1440 BC Egyptian event, suggest long-term observation. As we excavate Chicxulub, might we unearth irrefutable proof of cosmic meddling? These riddles defy answers, drawing us inexorably forward. Transitioning to the aftermath, the impact's immediate horrors were surpassed by prolonged agony. Sulfur aerosols triggered acid rains, poisoning waters and soils. Global darkness lasted up to 2 years in places like Hell Creek, where fossils show thriving dinosaurs abruptly cut off. Flowering plants survived better, their seeds enduring harshness, reshaping ecosystems. Mammals under 25 kilograms, burrowing or aquatic, persisted our tiny ancestors among them. But why did birds, dinosaur descendants, thrive while others didn't? Flight aided escape, perhaps, but mysteries remain. Scientific quests continue. 2023 analyses of crater dust confirm asteroid origins, yet competing volcano theories linger. The Deccan eruptions released enough gases for gradual extinction, but timing mismatches, did they coincide perfectly? Unsolved. Iridium spikes vary. Some sites show multiple layers, hinting at serial impacts. Nadir Crater's discovery in 2022 suggests a double strike, amplifying chaos. What if a comet swarm, not a single asteroid, bombarded Earth? These cosmic puzzles echo through time, reminding us Earth's fragility. As we probe deeper, each core sample whispers secrets of survival amid annihilation. But the ultimate mystery endures. Was Chicxulub fate's random dice roll, or an orchestrated reset by unseen forces? Ponder that as darkness falls, and let your mind wander the stars. Welcome to Cosmic Mysteries for Sleep. I am Zen, your guide through the universe's most enigmatic tales, designed to lull you into peaceful slumber with whispers of wonder. If these cosmic enigmas intrigue you, subscribe now to join our journey, and turn on the bell for notifications, ensuring you never miss a serene exploration under the stars. Sweet dreams await. In the wake of that cataclysmic collision, the world transformed into a realm of unrelenting shadows, where sunlight became a distant memory and survival hung by the thinnest of threads. The asteroid's fury didn't end with the initial blast. It unleashed a cascade of horrors that reshaped the planet's very essence. Vast clouds of dust and sulfur aerosols billowed into the stratosphere, blocking out the sun for months, perhaps even years in some regions. This plunged Earth into a prolonged darkness, a nuclear winter avant la lettre, where temperatures plummeted by as much as 15 degrees Celsius. Photosynthesis ground to a halt, starving plant life and collapsing the base of the food chain. Herbivorous dinosaurs, reliant on lush vegetation, faced famine on an unimaginable scale, their massive bodies demanding enormous caloric intake that simply vanished overnight. But here's where the intrigue deepens. Why did this veil of obscurity spare certain creatures while dooming others? Could there be hidden refuges, secret pockets of light or warmth that allowed improbable survivors to endure? Consider the immediate inferno that followed. The impact ignited global wildfires, with superheated ejecta raining down like fiery meteors, setting forests ablaze across continents. Infrared radiation from the re-entering debris baked the surface, creating a planet-wide oven where temperatures soared to lethal levels. In places like the Hell Creek Formation in North America, fossil evidence shows charred plant remains and soot layers, painting a picture of landscapes scorched beyond recognition. Acid rains, formed from sulfur dioxide mixing with atmospheric water, poured down in corrosive torrents, poisoning rivers, lakes, and soils. This toxic deluge eroded rocks, leached heavy metals into ecosystems, and made survival a game of chemical roulette. Dinosaurs, with their large body sizes and high metabolic demands, were particularly vulnerable. Imagine a tyrannosaur, once apex predator, gasping in acrid air, its scales blistering under relentless heat. Yet, amid this apocalypse, small mammals burrowed deep, perhaps in underground lairs insulated from the blaze. What evolutionary quirks enabled them to persist? Was it sheer luck, or something more enigmatic, like genetic predispositions that science has yet to fully unravel? Delving into the bizarre mysteries surrounding this extinction reveals layers of the unexpected. Paleontologists have unearthed evidence suggesting that not all dinosaurs perished immediately. Some may have clung to life in remote enclaves for hundreds of thousands of years post-impact. Fossils from New Mexico and Colorado, dated to around 500,000 years after the event, hint at isolated populations scraping by in pockets less affected by the fallout. Could these be the ghosts of a lost era, survivors in hidden valleys where dust settled slower or local geothermal activity provided warmth? This challenges the narrative of instantaneous doom, raising questions about resilience in the face of catastrophe. Even more peculiar are the fringe theories that have captivated imaginations for decades. One posits that dinosaurs suffered from widespread allergies to the pollen of newly evolved flowering plants, their immune systems overwhelmed in a pre-impact decline. Another envisions a plague of caterpillars devouring foliage en masse, triggering a bottom-up collapse of ecosystems long before the asteroid struck. These ideas, while dismissed by mainstream science, provoke curiosity. What if subtle biological imbalances amplified the disaster's toll? The role of the Deccan traps adds another veil of mystery. This massive volcanic province in India erupted around the same time, flooding the atmosphere with lava and gases over hundreds of thousands of years. Billions of tons of sulfur and carbon dioxide could have caused gradual acidification and warming, weakening dinosaur populations before the cosmic hammer fell. Did the volcanoes set the stage, making the impact's effects exponentially worse? Timing debates rage. Some eruptions predated the asteroid by 1,000,000 years. Others overlapped precisely. Unsolved puzzles here include varying iridium distributions. Why do some geological sites show multiple spikes, suggesting perhaps a series of impacts or volcanic pulses? The Nadir crater off West Africa, discovered recently and dated to the same era, fuels speculation of a double or even multiple strikes. Imagine a barrage from space, not a solitary rock. What cosmic alignment could orchestrate such a symphony of destruction? Survival stories weave through this tapestry of terror, each one a riddle begging exploration. Birds, the only dinosaurs to endure as a lineage, likely owed their persistence to flight, allowing escape to less ravaged areas, and small size reducing food needs. But why them, specifically? Their beaks, adapted for diverse diets, might have helped. Yet crocodiles' non-avian reptiles also survived, perhaps by estivating in mud or subsisting on decaying matter in aquatic havens. Small mammals, our distant kin, hunkered in burrows, feeding on seeds and insects that weathered the storm. Fossils from the Tanis site capture a snapshot of chaos. Fish with impact spherules lodged in gills, dying mid-swallow as seismic waves churned rivers into death traps. Yet, life rebounded astonishingly fast. Within years, microbial communities colonized the Chicxulub crater itself, thriving on nutrient influx from hydrothermal vents created by the blast. This rapid resurgence poses a profound question. Was the impact not just a destroyer, but a catalyst, injecting elements that sparked evolutionary innovation? Ponder the weirder extinction hypotheses that have emerged over time, each adding a dash of the uncanny. One theory from the 1980s suggested dinosaurs went extinct due to testicular overheating, their large bodies trapping heat, rendering males infertile in a warming climate. Another imagines a cosmic radiation burst from a nearby supernova, sterilizing the planet selectively. More outlandish still. Proposals that dinosaurs evolved intelligence but self-destructed through environmental mismanagement, leaving no trace beyond ambiguous fossils. These notions, often from amateur paleontologists, highlight gaps in our knowledge. For instance, why did marine reptiles like mosasaurs vanish while sharks persisted? The selectivity of the extinction, wiping out 75% of species, but sparing ferns and fungi, suggests hidden mechanisms at play. Could ancient viruses, hitchhiking on the asteroid, have targeted specific genomes? Life's tenacity shines in unexpected ways. In the crater's depths, extremophiles, microbes thriving in boiling, acidic conditions, may have been the first to reclaim the void, drawing parallels to potential life on other worlds like Mars or Europa. This rebound, documented in core samples from 2016 expeditions, shows ecosystems stabilizing within decades, not millennia. Plants with resilient spores, like ferns, carpeted the land in a fern spike seen in sediments worldwide. Mammals diversified explosively, filling niches left vacant. But enigmas persist. Why did some lizard lineages, like the Xanthusiid night lizards near the impact site, survive while others didn't? Recent 2023 research reveals their burrowing habits and nocturnal lifestyles as keys. Yet, full explanations elude us. These survival tales evoke broader cosmic wonders. If darkness lasted up to 200 days in simulations, how did any photosynthesis-dependent chain endure? Threshold studies indicate 150 days as the tipping point for recovery. Beyond that, permanent shifts occur. Apply this to today. Modern asteroid threats, like Apophis in 2029, remind us of vulnerability. NASA's DART mission in 2022 deflected Dimorphos, proving we can alter trajectories. But what of undetected cosmic wanderers? The asteroid belt's Baptistina family, once linked to Chicxulub, now debunked, leaves origins murky perhaps from the Kuiper belt or Oort cloud. Stirred by Jupiter's gravity, grappling with these aftermaths uncovers human parallels. Our ancestors' survival hinged on adaptability, much like how we face climate crises now. Acid rains from the impact mirror industrial pollution's effects on oceans, where coral bleaching echoes ancient die-offs. The Deccan's carbon emissions parallel fossil fuel burning, warming the planet before cooling it catastrophically. What lessons hide here? Unsolved. Fossil pollen records show flowering plants rise, but did they contribute to pre-impact declines, as some argue? Caterpillars feasting on leaves might have starved herbivores. A butterfly effect amplified by the strike. Intrigue builds with recent finds. 2024 analyses of ruthenium isotopes confirm the asteroid's outer solar system roots, but anomalies in chromium suggest possible comet involvement. Icy bodies carrying water or organics. Life's quick return in the crater, per 2017 studies, involved toxic metals like mercury. Yet microbes adapted swiftly. This resilience questions. Did the impact deliver building blocks for new life, like amino acids? Panspermia theories whisper, yes, life seeding from space amid destruction. As shadows lingered, evolutionary pressures forged survivors. Small body size conserved energy, burrowing shielded from elements. Omnivory allowed dietary flexibility. Dinosaurs' endothermy, once an advantage, became a liability in scarcity. Birds' hollow bones and efficient lungs aided. Mammals' nocturnal habits evaded heat. But selective survival baffles. Why did pterosaurs vanish while bats later thrived? Marine mysteries abound, ammonites extinct, nautiluses persist. Perhaps ocean acidification from rains dissolved shells, sparing thicker ones. These lingering questions keep the enigma alive, drawing us into endless speculation. What if some dinosaurs survived longer, as 2009 fossils suggest, in isolated refugia? Remote mountains or islands might have harbored pockets. Their extinction gradual. Bizarre ideas persist. Dinosaurs addicted to psychotropic plants, leading to behavioral collapse, or cosmic rays mutating eggs. While science favors the impact volcano duo, these oddities remind us knowledge's frontiers. Exploring further, the asteroid's composition, rich in iridium and platinum, mirrors mining interests today, with space resources eyed for future economies. But ethically, tampering with asteroids evokes the disaster's echo. 2025 missions like Psyche probe metallic asteroids, potentially unlocking origins. Yet, the ultimate turmoil. If we detect an incoming threat, could we avert it? Or are we destined to repeat history's cycle? In this veil of post-impact gloom, life's spark flickered but refused extinction, birthing our world from ashes. Each survivor a testament to adaptability's power, each mystery an invitation to wonder. As temperatures stabilized and light returned, new forms emerged, setting stages for mammalian dominance. But the shadow's secrets endure, whispering of fragility in the cosmos. From the smouldering ruins of a world reborn, where ferns pushed through ash-laden soil, and the first tentative stirrings of life echoed in the silence, emerged a creature that would forever alter the tapestry of existence on Earth. Purgatorius, a diminutive mammal no larger than a modern mouse, scampered across the branches of ancient conifers, its keen eyes piercing the dim haze of a post-apocalyptic dawn. This was no ordinary survivor. It represented the dawn of primates, the lineage that would one day give rise to us. But what secrets does Purgatorius hold about our origins? How did this unassuming being, with its flexible ankles and grasping toes, navigate a landscape still reeling from cosmic devastation? And could it truly be the missing link that bridges the gap between primitive mammals and the sophisticated primates we know today? Or does it conceal even deeper enigmas about sudden evolutionary leaps that defy explanation? Purgatorius first came into scientific focus in the mid-20th century, with fragments unearthed in Montana's Hell Creek Formation, a geological treasure trove straddling the Cretaceous-Paleogene boundary, named after Purgatory Hill, where early specimens were found. This genus includes species like Purgatorius unio, and the more recently described Purgatorius mckeeveri. Imagine a furry, rodent-like animal, weighing perhaps 100 grams, with sharp teeth suited for gnawing insects and soft fruits. Its fossils, mostly teeth and ankle bones, paint a picture of an agile climber, perching on tree limbs to evade ground-dwelling predators. But here's a tantalizing puzzle. Why are these remains so scarce? Paleontologists have sifted through tons of sediment, yet complete skeletons remain elusive, leaving us to piece together its life from scattered clues. Could vast numbers of Purgatorius fossils lie undiscovered in remote badlands? Or were they simply too fragile to preserve? dissolving in the acidic soils of that turbulent era. Recent discoveries, as of 2025, have intensified the intrigue. A study published in Cosmos magazine on February 19, 2025, highlights how the mass extinction of dinosaurs paved the way for Purgatorius and its kin. With non-avian dinosaurs gone, flowering plants exploded in diversity, becoming a staple diet for early mammals. These angiosperms, with their nutritious fruits and seeds, provided the caloric boost needed for brain development and agility. Purgatorius, feasting on this bounty, may have been among the first to exploit this niche. But consider this curiosity. Evidence from 2025 research suggests that early primates didn't evolve in the warm, lush tropics, as long assumed, but in colder, more arid environments. A Facebook post from the Brain Maze on August 7, 2025, discusses how the last common ancestor of primates adapted to chilly forests, challenging the narrative of a steamy cradle for our lineage. If true, why did evolution favor such harsh beginnings? Did fluctuating climates force rapid adaptations? Or was there an unseen environmental trigger, like residual radiation from the impact, that spurred genetic mutations? Delving into Purgatorius's daily existence reveals a world of perilous ingenuity. Perched high in the canopy of Paleocene forests, dominated by evergreens and early deciduous trees, this proto-primate likely darted between branches, using its opposable digits to grasp and climb. Its ankles, as detailed in a 2015 study from the University of Florida, show remarkable flexibility, akin to modern lemurs, allowing it to twist and pivot with ease. Picture it leaping from limb to limb, sniffing out insects or nibbling on tender shoots, all while scanning for threats like predatory birds or scavenging reptiles. But what drove it skyward? The ground below teemed with dangers, carnivorous mammals emerging from burrows, opportunistic survivors hungry for easy prey. Tree-dwelling offered refuge, but it came with risks. Falls could be fatal, and competition for arboreal resources was fierce. Intriguingly, Purgatorius's teeth suggest an omnivorous diet, blending bugs with plant matter, a flexible strategy that echoes our own adaptability. Yet, a lingering question. How did it perceive its world? With forward-facing eyes hinting at depth perception, did it possess a rudimentary form of binocular vision, a trait that would later define primate hunting and social interactions? The concept of the missing link looms large over Purgatorius, a term popularized by Charles Darwin in his quest to connect humans to our animal forebears. Darwin envisioned transitional forms filling evolutionary gaps, and Purgatorius fits the bill as the oldest known primate-like mammal, dating back 66 million years. Fossils from 2021 expeditions in Montana, analyzed by teams including Stephen Chester from Brooklyn College, include ankle bones, confirming its arboreal lifestyle, the first concrete evidence of primate locomotion post-extinction. These findings, published in Royal Society Open Science, show Purgatorius McKeeveri with elongated limbs, suited for grasping, bridging the divide between shrew-like ancestors and true primates. But is it the definitive link? Skeptics argue it's more Plesiadapiform, a group of primate relatives with rodent-like features, than a direct forebear. Plesiadapiforms like Plesiadapis, from 57 to 90 million years ago, share traits but lack full primate hallmarks, like nails instead of claws. This ambiguity fuels endless debate. Where are the intermediates? A YouTube video from 2023 on the rise and reign of primates speculates that undiscovered fossils in underexplored regions like Asia could reveal a mystery ancestor predating Purgatorius, perhaps a creature that survived the impact in isolated refugia. Adding to the allure are theories of abrupt origins. A 2022 article on Science and Culture questions the sudden appearance of primates in the fossil record, labeling it an abrupt origin that challenges gradual evolution. Purgatorius pops up almost immediately after the dinosaurs' demise. Within 10,000 years, a blink in geological time. Was this a case of punctuated equilibrium, where evolution accelerates in crises? Or does it hint at something more profound, like genetic material from the asteroid itself influencing mutations? Panspermia proponents whisper that cosmic debris carried microbial precursors, jump-starting primate traits. Even wilder, fringe ideas link elongated skulls found in ancient human sites to early primate anomalies, suggesting hybridizations or anomalies that echo through our DNA. A Reddit post from 2024 depicts Purgatorius as humanity's closest relative during the dinosaur fall, sparking forums abuzz with what-if scenarios. Imagine if it had evolved differently, leading to a world dominated by tree-dwelling intelligences. Exploration of Purgatorius's environment uncovers further enigmas. The Paleocene epoch, from 66 to 56 million years ago, featured a greenhouse world with polar forests and elevated sea levels. Purgatorius inhabited what is now Western North America, amid recovering ecosystems where ferns dominated before angiosperms took hold. A 2021 Sci. News report on Montana fossils describes teeth adapted for grinding, indicating a shift from insectivory to frugivory. This dietary pivot may have coincided with the rise of fruit-bearing plants, a co-evolutionary dance that propelled primate success. But why this symbiosis? Flowering plants offered energy-rich rewards, dispersing seeds via primate digestion, a mutual benefit. Yet, mysteries persist. Did Purgatorius exhibit social behaviors like modern primates? Isolated fossils offer no clues about groups or communication, leaving us to wonder if it was solitary or formed nascent troops. Controversies in classification keep the Homo alive. Initially dubbed the first primate in 1965, based on teeth alone, Purgatorius's status wavered. A 2012 study re-examined ankle bones, confirming arboreal adaptations. But debates rage over whether it's a true Euaconton, primate ancestor group, or a stem mammal. The Burke Museum's 2021 announcement of the earliest primate fossils underscores this. Purgatorius, Janissae, and others show dental features linking to later omomiids like Teardina. However, gaps remain. Where are the transitional forms from Purgatorius to Eocene primates? A National Geographic piece from 2012 posits it as a rodent-like climber, supporting tree origins for primates, but 2025 updates from Mongabay on endangered primates remind us how fragile such lineages are, drawing parallels to modern threats, pushing boundaries. Consider speculative angles that ignite curiosity. A Sci-Fi article from 2021 calls Purgatorius our oldest primate ancestor, but questions its proto-primate status, suggesting an undiscovered common ancestor. YouTube's The Missing Link from 2009 discusses Ida, a 47-million-year-old fossil once hailed as the complete link, but later demoted. Could Purgatorius hold similar surprises? Genetic reconstructions, though impossible with ancient DNA degradation, tantalize with what-ifs imagined sequencing revealing unexpected hybrid traits. Broader enigmas tie in. Wikipedia's primate evolution page traces back 90 million years, but abrupt bursts post-extinction suggest external catalysts, perhaps meteoritic elements altering genomes. As we trace Purgatorius's legacy, its influence ripples forward. By the Eocene, 55 million years ago, primates like adipiforms diversified, leading to lemurs and tarsiers. Purgatorius's tree climbing set the stage for binocular vision, larger brains, and social complexity traits defining us. Yet, unanswered, why North America as the cradle? Fossils cluster there, but global searches yield scant parallels. A 2024 Reddit illustration of Purgatorius inspires stories of alternate evolutions, where it becomes a dominant species. In 2025, as primate peril lists grow, Purgatorius reminds us of vulnerability, our ancestors' narrow escape mirroring today's conservation crises. These threads weave a narrative of wonder, where Purgatorius stands as both progenitor and puzzle. Its life on ancient branches, evading shadows of extinction, beckons us to question what hidden chapters lie buried waiting to rewrite our story. As forests regrew and life diversified, this tiny climber's legacy endures, a cosmic whisper of beginnings shrouded in eternal mystery. In the shadow of the dinosaurs' fall, a quiet revolution ignited among the survivors, transforming humble, mouse-sized mammals into a kaleidoscope of forms that would redefine life on Earth. This was the great mammalian radiation of the Paleogene, a burst of evolutionary creativity that saw species multiply fourfold in mere geological moments, filling niches from forest canopies to open plains. But what fueled this explosive diversification? Was it simply the vacuum left by extinct giants? Or does it hide deeper secrets, perhaps echoes of cosmic influences or hidden genetic codes that accelerated change in ways we still can't fully grasp? As we unravel this enigma, consider how small creatures, once scurrying in fear, suddenly branched into everything from gliding lemur-like beings to the ancestors of whales, all within 10 million years after the asteroid's strike. This wasn't gradual creep. It was a sprint, raising questions that tantalize. Why did evolution hit the accelerator so hard, and could similar surges be lurking in our own genetic future? The Paleogene period, spanning from 66 to 23 million years ago, became a canvas for this radiation, divided into epochs like the Paleocene, Eocene, and Oligocene, each layering new mysteries onto the evolutionary puzzle. Immediately post-KPG, as detailed in a 2023 study from Advanced Science News, tiny mammals, many no larger than modern shrews, experienced a dramatic uptick in species richness. Fossils from sites like Colorado's Corwin Springs reveal a fourfold increase, with body sizes expanding and diets diversifying. Herbivores, insectivores, and even early carnivores emerged, exploiting the regrowth of forests dominated by ferns and angiosperms. But here's a curious twist. Larger mammals, over 10 kilograms, didn't dominate this boom as once thought. Smaller ones diversified at a comparable rate, per the same research, prompting paleontologists to speculate on unseen drivers. Could nutrient influx from the impact's hydrothermal vents have supercharged microbial communities, indirectly boosting mammalian metabolism? Or was there a genetic bottleneck release, where surviving lineages carried latent variations that exploded under reduced competition? Parallels to the Cambrian explosion, that famed 538 million-year-old burst of animal complexity, add layers of intrigue. During the Cambrian, as explored in a 2013 paper from PMC on oxygen's role, Rising atmospheric levels enabled larger bodies and active predation, sparking the evolution of eyes, shells, and segmented forms. Similarly, in the Paleogene, oxygen fluctuations post-impact dips followed by rebounds may have catalyzed mammalian innovations. A 2024 article from science.org on imbalanced speciation pulses describes how mammalian diversification rose before and sustained through the KPG boundary, with speciation rates spiking unevenly. This soft explosive model, as termed in a 2018 BMC Ecology and Evolution study, suggests pulses of innovation rather than a single blast. But why imbalanced? Did volcanic outgassing from the Deccan Traps, lingering into the Paleogene, create patchy environments that favored adaptive bursts? Unsolved questions abound. Fossil records show mammals like multituberculates, rodent-like creatures thriving pre-extinction. Yet their post-KPG decline coincides with placental mammals' rise. Was this a hidden arms race? Or did cryptic pathogens, perhaps asteroid-borne, selectively prune lineages? Primate diversification weaves into this narrative like a hidden thread, emerging as one of the most enigmatic branches of the mammalian tree. From Purgatorius onward, primates radiated into over 100 forms by the Eocene, 47 to 34 million years ago, with fossils from Wyoming's Bighorn Basin showcasing early adipiforms and homomeids. These creatures, akin to modern lemurs and tarsiers, developed forward-facing eyes for depth perception and grasping hands for arboreal life traits that scream adaptation to a world of recovering forests. A 2021 Berkeley News report posits that primate ancestors lived alongside dinosaurs in the late Cretaceous, bolstering theories of pre-extinction origins. But the boom post-KPG is staggering. Within 5 million years, primates spread across North America, Europe, and Asia, diversifying into diurnal and nocturnal forms. What sparked this? A 2025 phys.org update from April 1st reveals mammals shifting to ground-dwelling lifestyles several million years before the extinction, suggesting primates' arboreal prowess was a pre-adaptive edge. Yet, this raises a puzzle. If ground adaptation was underway, why did the canopy become their fortress? Perhaps the extinction's selective pressure favored climbers who could access fruits in regenerating woodlands, but fossils like those from 2019 University of Washington research show mammalia forms radiating ecologically during the age of dinosaurs, debunking myths of stagnation. Delving deeper, the primate story harbors unsolved riddles that mirror broader mammalian mysteries. Why did anthropoids, the group leading to monkeys, apes, and humans, appear so abruptly around 55 million years ago? Fossils like Afrasia from Myanmar, dated to 37 million years ago, hint at Asian origins, but gaps persist. A 2024 Science Daily piece on an old fossil-solving evolutionary mysteries discusses how new analyses of Darwinius ida from Germany reveal it as a stem haplogyne, bridging lemur-like and monkey-like forms. But controversies swirl. Ida was once hyped as the missing link in 2009, only to be reclassified. This flip-flopping underscores the fossil record's patchiness. Why so few transitional primates? Perhaps taphonomic biases, where delicate bones fossilize poorly in acidic forest soils, hide the truth. Or could continental drift play a role? During the Paleogene, as India collided with Asia around 50 million years ago, creating the Himalayas, did this tectonic upheaval create biodiversity hotspots that accelerated primate splits? The allure intensifies with comparisons to the Cambrian's explosion. In that era, as per a 2023 Frontiers in Earth Science article. Genic and genomic data reshape views of metazoan radiation, emphasizing developmental genes like Hox clusters enabling body plan diversity. Paleogene mammals echo this. Genomic studies from 2024 in Communications Biology on placental evolution reveal bursts in gene duplication post-KPG, fostering innovations like enhanced olfaction and color vision in primates. But a 2015 Cambridge paleobiology paper questions if the Ediacaran Cambrian was unique, arguing later radiations like the paleogenes were equally innovative, albeit subtler. Mammals didn't invent new phyla, but exploded in ecomorphs, from flying bats to swimming whales. Intriguingly, a 2013 PMC study on oxygen and ecology ties Cambrian predation to diversification. Similarly, post-KPG, the absence of dinosaur predators allowed mammals to experiment boldly. Yet, why no mammalian Cambrian with entirely novel body plans? Perhaps constraints from therapsid ancestors limited options. But this begs, what untapped potentials remain in our genomes, waiting for the next crisis? Unraveling these bursts uncovers bizarre anomalies that fuel speculation. A 2022 Scientific American feature on mammals conquering post-asteroid worlds describes how survivors like condylarths, hoofed herbivores, diversified into odd-toed and even-toed ungulates. But enigmas lurk. Why did multituberculates, dominant for 160 million years, fade while rodents rose? 2025 PNAS research from April 28 notes widespread vertebrates becoming common pre-impact, with localized species surging post-event. This community structure shift suggests hidden resilience factors, perhaps symbiotic microbes aiding digestion in sparse times. For primates, a 2021 Cambridge University report on tree dwellers surviving forest destruction posits that arboreal ancestors endured by switching to fallback foods like leaves. But a 2022 study finds peace speculates on alternate histories. If dinosaurs survived, primates might never have radiated, altering our world profoundly. Pushing boundaries, fringe theories add spice to the mystery. Some posit that the asteroid delivered extraterrestrial organics, jump-starting genetic diversity, a panspermia twist, echoing Cambrian origins debates. A 2021 ResearchGate overview on the Cambrian explosion as three-phased biomineralization, diversity pulses, parallels Paleogene phases, initial survival, then ecomorph radiation, finally stabilization. But unsolved, why did primate brains enlarge disproportionately? 2025 Mongabay updates on endangered primates link this to fruit diets post-extinction, but a 2022 Nature Communications on dinosaur biodiversity decline pre-impact suggests mammals were already poised. Could quantum effects in biology, like those proposed in 2023 theories on evolutionary leaps, explain sudden bursts? As we trace this radiation, patterns emerge that intrigue and perplex. The Eocene's hothouse climate, with global temperatures 15 degrees Celsius warmer, fostered primate hotspots like Egypt's Fayum Depression, yielding fossils of Gigantopithecus, a cat-sized anthropoid from 33 million years ago. This dawn ape shows early dental shifts toward omnivory. But why Africa as the cradle? Rafting hypotheses suggest ancestors floated across oceans on vegetation mats, a daring voyage that defies odds. 2025 Science Daily from January 11th. On solving evolutionary mysteries via old fossils, highlights how such finds reshape timelines. Yet, gaps yawn. The abominable mystery of angiosperm origins, coined by Darwin, ties to primate diets. Did plants' rapid rise post-KPG enable brainy frugivores? These enigmas cascade, each unveiling new wonders. Mammalian radiation's speed, per 2021 Science Focus, outpaced expectations, with 3 new species unearthed challenging slow evolution model. Primates' part in this diversifying into over 200 Eocene forms hints at untapped potentials. A 2019 Washington University release debunks nocturnal bottleneck myths, showing mammalia forms radiating pre-extinction. But questions endure. Why selective survival? 2022 phys.org on dinosaur non-extinction speculates mammalian suppression. Their demise unleashed us. In this evolutionary whirlwind, life's ingenuity shines, yet shadows of the unknown persist. What cryptic codes drove the surge? As Paleogene forests teemed with nascent diversity, from gliding colugos to burrowing rodents, primates climbed toward destiny. But the bull knows secrets, imbalanced pulses. Hidden triggers beckon exploration, whispering of cycles that might recur. In our DNA, echoes of this radiation linger, fueling curiosity about what evolutionary fireworks await next. As the Paleogene's balmy warmth gave way to chilling winds sweeping across ancient landscapes, a profound shift gripped the planet, testing the mettle of every surviving lineage in ways that would forever sculpt the tree of life. Around 34 million years ago, during the Eocene-Oligocene transition, global temperatures plummeted by up to 8 degrees Celsius, ushering in the first major ice age since the Permian extinction 250 million years prior. Glaciers expanded over Antarctica, sea levels dropped by 70 meters, and lush tropical forests retreated toward the equator, fragmenting into isolated pockets amid emerging grasslands. This climatic upheaval wasn't a gentle fade. It was a turbulent upheaval driven by falling carbon dioxide levels, perhaps from enhanced rock weathering or shifts in ocean currents as continents drifted. For primates, these changes posed existential riddles. How did our ancestors, once thriving in steamy canopies, endure the encroaching cold and aridity? And in this crucible of survival, what enigmatic forces propelled the evolution of disproportionately large brains, turning vulnerable climbers into cognitive powerhouses capable of outwitting a harsher world? This glacial grip, often dubbed the Grande Coupure or Great Cut in European fossil records, marked a mass turnover where up to 60% of mammal species vanished, replaced by newcomers better suited to cooler, drier realms. Fossils from sites like France's quasi-phosphorites reveal a stark before and after. Eocene warmth fostered diverse, small-bodied primates like adapiforms, but the Oligocene's chill favored larger, more adaptable forms. Oxygen isotope data from deep-sea cores, as analyzed in a 2024 study from Nature Geoscience, pinpoint the transition to around 33.9 million years ago, coinciding with Antarctic ice sheet formation. But the intrigue lies in the triggers. Was it solely tectonic? India's collision with Asia uplifting the Himalayas, accelerating erosion that sequestered carbon? Or did orbital wobbles, like Milankovitch cycles, amplify the cooling? A 2025 paper in Science Advances suggests volcanic quiescence reduced greenhouse gases, but anomalies persist. Why did cooling hit the southern hemisphere harder, sparing northern forests longer? These disparities hint at asymmetric planetary responses, perhaps influenced by undiscovered ocean gateway closures, leaving us to wonder if hidden geothermal hotspots provided refugia for heat-dependent primates. For our primate forebears, this era's volatility forged a gauntlet of adaptation, where survival hinged on behavioral ingenuity amid shrinking habitats. As forests fragmented, early anthropoids' monkey and ape ancestors faced dispersal challenges, rafting across widening seas on vegetation mats, as hypothesized in a 2023 Proceedings of the Royal Society B article. Imagine proto-apes like Sadanius from Saudi Arabia 30 million years ago, navigating patchy woodlands where seasonal droughts withered fruits, forcing dietary shifts to tougher leaves or insects. This scarcity likely selected for larger brains, enhancing problem-solving traits evident in 2025 genomic reconstructions from fossil teeth, revealing upregulated genes for neural plasticity. But the brain's enigma deepens. Primate encephalization quotient soared, with brains tripling in relative size by the Miocene, 23 million years ago. Why this cerebral ballooning? A 2024 Behavioral and Brain Sciences review posits the social brain hypothesis, where complex group dynamics demanded tracking alliances and deceptions. But counter-theories abound. Could ecological pressures, like foraging in variable environments, drive it instead? Fossils from Egypt's Fayum, like Gigantopithecus with its enlarged visual cortex, suggest enhanced color vision for spotting ripe fruits amid fading greenery. But why not in other mammals facing similar stresses? Delving into the Ice Age's grip unveils peculiar survival tales, but spark endless curiosity. During the Oligocene, 23 to 34 million years ago, primates like the Omomoid runear from Texas exhibited nocturnal adaptations, large eyes for low-light foraging as cooling extended twilight hours. Yet, a 2025 Quaternary Science Review's piece questions why primate diversity dipped in Europe but rebounded in Africa, proposing cryptic migrations via land bridges now submerged. This out-of-Africa precursor for early primates mirrors later human dispersals, but with twists. Did cooling oceans create upwelling zones rich in nutrients, indirectly supporting coastal primate populations? Intriguingly, a 2023 Global Change Biology study links ancient climate swings to modern primate vulnerabilities, noting how Eocene hyperthermals' brief warming spikes mirrored today's anthropogenic heating, potentially foreshadowing extinctions. But unsolved. Why did some lineages, like Tarsier ancestors, retain primitive traits while others leaped forward? Genetic drift in isolated populations, or perhaps viral integrations accelerating brain gene duplications. The brain's mysteries compound as we probe its disproportionate growth. Human brains, at 1.4 kilograms relative to body size, dwarf those of contemporaries. But this trend rooted in Paleogene challenges. A 2024 Neuron Journal article on primate neuroanatomy reveals expanded prefrontal cortices in early anthropoids, facilitating planning and empathy key for surviving unpredictable climates. Yet, energy costs soar. Brains consume 20% of our calories, a risky investment in famine-prone eras. How did evolution justify this? The expensive tissue hypothesis from 2023 in PMC argues gut reduction freed energy for brains tied to cooked foods later, but in Paleogene primates, fruit diets may have sufficed. A 2025 Evolutionary Anthropology piece speculates on cognitive buffering, where larger brains buffered against environmental volatility, allowing flexible behaviors like tool use precursors. Fossils like Propleopithecus from 30 million years ago showed dental wear from hard foods, implying innovative processing, perhaps stripping bark with teeth. A proto-tool behavior, but enigmas linger. Why asymmetrical brain development in some fossils, hinting at handedness origins? And could geomagnetic reversals during cooling disrupt migrations, selecting for navigational smarts? Pushing further, climatic volatility's role in speciation tantalizes with what-ifs. The Eocene's thermal maximum. 56 million years ago, a 5-degree spike from methane releases drove primate dispersals, as per 2024 paleobiology research, with fossils like Tehardina spreading from Asia to Europe via high-latitude bridges. But the ensuing Oligocene chill reversed this, contracting ranges and fostering endemism. A 2023 Frontiers in Ecology and Evolution study models how habitat fragmentation spurred genetic isolation, accelerating divergence like the split between strepsirrhines, lemurs, and haplohines, monkeys, around 43 million years ago. Intrigue peaks with ghost lineages, inferred branches without fossils, suggesting undiscovered diversity. Why so ghostly? Tropical fossil biases, where rapid decomposition hides evidence, or perhaps catastrophic local events like megafloods erased records. Unraveling these threads exposes bizarre anomalies that ignite speculation. A 2025 BioRxiv preprint on primate paleogenomics reconstructs ancient diets via dental calculus, revealing microbial shifts during cooling. Did gut biomes evolve to extract more from scarce foods, indirectly fueling brain growth? Parallels to human microbiome studies hint yes, but questions endure. Why did some primates, like South American platyrrhines, raft across the Atlantic 36 million years ago, defying oceanic barriers, storm-driven flotsam, or unknown land connections? Fringe ideas add flavor. 2024 forums speculate cosmic rays from supernovae, mutated genes during ice ages, enhancing cognition, a stellar intervention echoing asteroid theories. While mainstream dismisses, it echoes 2023 astrobiology discussions on radiation's evolutionary role. As we explore survival strategies, tales of resilience emerge. Miocene apes like Dryopithecus, 20 million years ago, adapted to seasonal forests with suspensory locomotion hanging from branches for efficient foraging amid patchy resources. But brain expansion's cost-benefit puzzles. A 2024 Current Biology article calculates energetic trade-offs, showing larger brains correlated with longer gestation, implying social support network. Did cooling foster cooperative breeding, a precursor to human societies? Fossils from Spain's Valles Penedès basin show group burials, hinting at early empathy. Yet, why did encephalization peak in hominins? 2025 PNAS research on Sahelanthropus, 7 million years ago, reveals bipedalism freeing hands, perhaps enabling gestural communication that bootstrapped cognition. These climatic crucibles birthed innovations that intrigue endlessly. The Oligocene's aridity selected for water-efficient kidneys in primates, per 2023, physiological and biochemical zoology, but at what neural cost? Brain tissue demands hydration, suggesting trade-offs that favored smarter hydration strategies. A 2024 Evolutionary Biology review on climate-brain nexus posits feedback loops, variable weather-honed forecasting abilities, enlarging temporal lobes, but anomalies persist. Why did some lineages, like lorises, retain small brains while apes ballooned? ecological niches, or cryptic sexual selection for intelligence. Pondering broader implications, this era's lessons resonate today. As anthropogenic warming mirrors Eocene hyperthermals, 2025 IPCC analogues warn of primate extinctions, lemurs facing drought, echo ancient adapiforms. But curiosity beckons. Could geoengineering mimic Oligocene cooling or unlock brain-enhancing genes? 2023 biohacking trends speculate on nootropics, mimicking ancient adaptations, but ethical quandaries loom. In this dance of ice and evolution, Primate's journey from fragile survivors to cerebral titans unfolds as a saga of wonder. Climatic tempests forged larger brains, but their secrets, genetic sparks, environmental whispers remain veiled, inviting us to question what cognitive leaps await in our warming world. As habitats shifted and ice advanced, these ancestors' tenacity whispers of potentials untapped, enigmas unresolved in the frost of time. Deep in the tangled forests of Gombe National Park, where the air hums with the chatter of unseen lives, a brutal saga unfolded that shattered illusions about the peacefulness of our closest kin. Between 1974 and 1978, two chimpanzee communities, once part of a single group, descended into what became known as the Gombe Chimpanzee War. A conflict marked by calculated raids, ambushes, and gruesome killings that echoed the darkest chapters of human history. Led by observations from Jane Goodall, this 4-year strife saw males from the dominant Kasakela group patrol borders, infiltrate rival territory, and systematically eliminate members of the splintered Kahama community, often tearing victims apart in displays of raw savagery. But what drives these warrior chimps to such organized violence? Is it an innate echo of primal instincts, or does it conceal deeper mysteries about the evolution of aggression? Perhaps shared genetic shadows that link their battles to our own endless conflicts. As we peel back the layers of chimpanzee society, these questions loom larger, hinting at unsolved riddles. Could their warfare stem from ancient neural circuits triggered by scarcity? Or might it reveal hidden social codes that predate humanity itself? Goodall's groundbreaking work, now spanning over 65 years, as celebrated in a 2025 reflection from the Jane Goodall Institute, transformed our understanding of chimpanzees, from mere animals to complex beings, with intricate social hierarchies and emotional depths. In Gombe, communities typically number between 20 and 150 individuals, structured around a dominant alpha male who maintains power through alliances, displays of strength, and grooming rituals that forge bonds stronger than blood. Yet, the war exposed a shadowy underbelly. When resources like fruit trees dwindle or populations swell, tensions erupt into lethal intergroup violence. Males, often forming coalitions of 3 to 6, embark on silent patrols, moving single file through the underbrush to scout enemy lands. Upon spotting isolated rivals, they unleash coordinated attacks, pinning victims down, biting, stomping, and even cannibalizing parts in frenzied rituals. A 2024 study from the University of Oxford, published in Current Biology, details how these raids aren't random. Chimps assess risks, retreating if outnumbered, suggesting a tactical acumen eerily akin to human military strategy. But the enigma persists. Why do they kill without immediate gain, sometimes dragging corpses as trophies? Does this behavior echo a prehistoric us versus them mentality? Or is it a cultural transmission, passed down through generations like folklore? Intriguingly, recent discoveries amplify the mystery. A 2025 analysis from Newsweek on August 16th reveals how chimpanzee communication patterns are maternally inherited, with mothers teaching offspring specific gestures and calls that vary by community, much like human dialects. In aggressive contexts, these signals rally troops or deceive foes. Adding a layer of psychological warfare, imagine a patrol using soft hoots to coordinate without alerting prey. A behavior documented in a 2024 Cell Press study on adult play fostering cooperation. Here, play fighting among grown chimps builds trust and hones combat skills, blurring lines between recreation and preparation for battle. Yet, why do females, typically less involved in raids, sometimes incite violence through subtle manipulations, as observed in Gombe's family lineage? Goodall's 1986 book, The Chimpanzees of Gombe, describes matriarchs like Flo influencing alpha successions, hinting at a shadowy female power dynamic that mirrors human political intrigue. Could this suggest an evolutionary whisper network, where non-combatants shape outcomes from the sidelines? A tactic unseen in most animal societies. Comparisons to bonobos, our other close relatives, deepen the puzzle. Often portrayed as the peaceful ape, bonobos resolve conflicts through sexual reconciliation rather than violence, as explored in a 2024 Science Direct article contrasting their behaviors with chimps. Living south of the Congo River, bonobos form female-dominated groups, where alliances prevent male aggression from escalating. But recent field studies challenge this idyll. A 2025 Mongabay report from March 11th details how a bonobo community, after losing males to poachers, altered its love language. Gestures of affection diminished, leading to increased tension. This cultural erosion raises questions. Are bonobo peace and chimp war products of environment? Bonobos in resource-rich forests versus chimps in competitive savannas, or genetic divergences from a common ancestor 6 million years ago? A 2025 Hill article from April 3rd notes bonobos using human-like grammar in calls, combining sounds for complex meanings, potentially diffusing disputes verbally. Yet, if chimps share 98.7% of our DNA, why does their warfare feel so familiar? A 2024 Dogger News piece from April 18th describes chimps employing human-like warfare tactics to expand territory, including hilltop reconnaissance for vantage points, behaviors once thought uniquely ours. These parallels ignite speculation about the roots of violence. In a 2023 Live Science feature from May 8th, chimp raids are likened to human tribal conflicts, with males killing rivals to secure mates and resources. The Gombe War culminated in Kasekela's total annexation of Kahama lands, boosting female access and infant survival. But mysteries abound. Why do chimps exhibit lethal raiding without tools, relying on brute force, while humans escalated to weapons? A 2023 ZME Science report from November 2nd details how chimps spy on rivals from elevated positions, minimizing detection, a stealth tactic mirroring ancient human ambushes. Yet, a 2024 New York Times article from November 21st uncovers genetic links. Closely related chimp groups display more sophisticated cultural behaviors, like tool use in nutcracking, suggesting warfare might be inherited through kin-selected aggression. Does this imply a war gene? Perhaps the MAOA variant linked to impulsivity in humans and apes? Fringe theories whisper of deeper connections. Could ancient hybridizations, as speculated in 2024 forums, blend chimp-like brutality with human cunning? Social structures offer further enigmas. Chimp societies are fission-fusion, with fluid subgroups forming for foraging or defense, as per a 2024 phys.org study from December 5th on complex behaviors in Guinea's Bossou chimps. Here, individuals sequence actions like humans, combining leaf sponging for water with nut cracking, indicating planning depths that underpin warfare logistics. But why do alphas face coalitions? A 2025 Twitter post from Rob Henderson on June 6 describes lower-ranking males overthrowing tyrants, tearing them apart in ritualistic kills. A checks and balances system echoing human revolutions. Goodall's observations confirm overly aggressive leaders invite backlash, maintaining equilibrium. This democratic violence raises questions. Is it instinctual homeostasis or learned culture? A 2024 Current Biology paper from November 21st links adult play to cooperation, where wrestling builds alliances crucial for raids. Intriguingly, a 2025 CEN article from August 8th reveals chimps self-medicating with plants, mirroring human remedies, antibacterial barks for wounds sustained in fights, suggesting pharmacological knowledge passed socially. Unraveling these behaviors uncovers ethical quandaries that provoke thought. If chimps wage war for territory, as in a 2023 PBS post on Gombe's legacy, does this absolve human conflicts as natural? Goodall's 2025 Gombe anniversary reflection emphasizes conservation, with habitats shrinking, intergroup violence spikes, mirroring human resource wars. A 2024 Mongabay story from March 24th warns that human disturbed apes adopt risky behaviors, like crop raiding, escalating conflicts. But a positive twist. 2024 Oxford research from December 6th shows chimps innovating tools in sequences, hinting at protoculture that could evolve peace mechanisms. Why haven't they? Perhaps bonobo-like matriarchies hold clues. A 2024 Hill piece from April 3rd on bonobo grammar suggests verbal complexity diffuses aggression, a path humans partially took. These warrior ways conceal profound mysteries. Why do chimps exhibit contagious friendliness? Per a 2024 Science Daily from November 20th. Yet flip to brutality. A 2023 Doubt the Experts blog from October 29th debates ape aggression's origins, contrasting chimp violence with bonobo harmony. Could river barriers separating species symbolize environmental determinism? 2024 Science Direct from May 6th visually contrasts the apes, underscoring behavioral divergences despite 99% genetic similarity. As we probe deeper, personal anecdotes from researchers add flavor. Goodall's encounters with chimps like David Greybeard, who first accepted her presence, reveal trust's fragility amid inherent suspicion. A 2023 University of Texas event on love and war in chimps discusses hormonal drivers, testosterone fueling raids, oxytocin bonding allies. But unsolved. Why cannibalism in some attacks, as in no-go project observations? A 2023 Raw Egg Nationalist tweet from October 23rd on chimp reconnaissance highlights military tactics, scouting like human patrols. In this web of war and society, chimps mirror our dual nature, cooperative yet combative. Their battles, devoid of ideology, strip violence to essentials: survival, status, sex. Yet, 2025 Newsweek from August 16th on maternal teaching suggests nurture shapes nature, offering hope for change. If chimps learn war, could they unlearn it? This question lingers, a cosmic echo in our shared ancestry, urging us to confront the warrior within. Expanding on maternal roles, 2025 studies emphasize how mothers model aggression. In Gombe, high-ranking females like Fifi groomed offspring into dominant positions, perpetuating cycles. But disruptions, as in the 2025 Mongabe on male loss affecting love language, show cultures evolve or devolve. Gestures of affection wane, aggression rises, hinting at emotional intelligence's fragility. Why do orphaned chimps, per 2024 research, exhibit more violence? Attachment theory in apes. Tool use in conflicts adds intrigue. Bosu chimps wield branches as clubs during raids. A proto-weaponry step, 2024 phys.org from December 5th, details sequenced behaviors, scouting, arming, attacking, mirroring human hunts. But why no escalation to projectiles, physical limits, or cultural taboos? Bonobo contrasts sharpen the mystery. Their female coalitions suppress male dominance, using sex for alliances. A 2024 Science Direct visualizes this. But 2025 Hill on Grammar shows structured calls resolving disputes. A peace language? If chimps lack this, is war their default? Ethical implications provoke. Conservationists note habitat loss amplifies chimp violence, as in 2024 Mongabe from March 24th. Human encroachment turns warriors into crop raiders, inviting retaliation. Could rewilding reduce aggression? In sum, chimp society's warfare unveils profound enigmas. Innate or learned, adaptive or maladaptive. As 2025 Sen on self-medication shows healing wisdom amid brutality, perhaps balance exists. Their battles, a mirror to ours, beckon exploration of aggression's roots, leaving us pondering. In taming our inner chimp, what mysteries await discovery? In the intricate web of prehistoric food chains, where every bite could mean survival or extinction, ancient predators lurked with adaptations so specialized that they targeted primates with chilling precision, turning our early ancestors into perpetual prey. Among these enigmatic hunters, Dinofelis stands out as a shadowy specialist, a saber-toothed cat from the Pliocene and Pleistocene epochs that roamed Africa and Eurasia between 5 million and 1.2 million years ago. Often called the false saber-tooth for its shorter canines compared to Smilodon, Dinofelis possessed a robust build and powerful forelimbs designed for ambushing tree-dwelling primates, pinning them down before delivering fatal bites to the skull or neck. Fossils from South Africa's Sterkfontein caves reveal puncture wounds on Paranthropus robustus crania that match Dinophilis's dentition, suggesting this cat didn't just opportunistically hunt, but evolved specifically to exploit the vulnerabilities of early hominins and apes. What makes this predator so mysterious is the question of why it honed in on primates. Was it the abundance of fruit-rich forests, drawing both predator and prey together, or a co-evolutionary arms race where primates' increasing intelligence forced Dinophilis to refine its stealth tactics? Unresolved debates in paleontology hint that Dinophilis may have climbed trees itself, a behavior inferred from its limb morphology, allowing it to surprise victims in their arboreal refuges. Imagine a cat the size of a leopard, scaling branches silently, its eyes fixed on an unsuspecting group of Australopithecus. This predator-prey dynamic extended beyond felines, weaving through the food chain in ways that challenge our understanding of ancient ecosystems. Take Crocodilus thorbjarnasoni, a colossal crocodile from Kenya's Lake Turkana basin that lived between 4 and 2 million years ago, measuring up to 8.3 meters long, longer than any modern Nile crocodile, named after a Smithsonian paleontologist. This beast's fossils show a skull adapted for crushing, with teeth capable of piercing thick hides. Early humans like Homo habilis, who frequented water sources for drinking and tool-making, would have been easy targets. Bite marks on hominin bones from nearby sites suggest ambushes at riverbanks, where the crocodile's camouflage in murky waters turned routine hydration into deadly traps. The enigma here lies in the crocodile's size. Why did it grow so enormous when smaller relatives sufficed? Some researchers speculate that competition with other mega-predators, like the giant hyena Pachycrocata, drove this escalation, creating a food chain where primates were squeezed between aquatic lurkers and terrestrial scavengers. Intriguingly, a 2011 study of similar fossils indicates that these crocodiles may have scavenged hominin remains as well. Blurring the line between hunter and opportunist, did they actively stalk early humans, or simply capitalize on the chaos of interspecies clashes? Venturing into avian terrors, the ancient harpy eagle ancestors, like those from the Pleistocene, evoke questions about how primates evaded aerial assaults that seemed unbeatable. Modern crowned eagles in Africa prey on monkeys up to 30 kilograms, using talons that puncture skulls with forces exceeding a lion's bite. Prehistoric relatives, such as the massive Haast's eagle from New Zealand, which went extinct around 1400 AD, hunted moa birds weighing up to 250 kilograms. But fossil evidence from African sites suggests similar raptors targeted early primates. Claw marks on Taung-child fossils, a 2.5 million-year-old Australopithecus, Africanus skull match eagle talons, implying that these birds snatched juveniles from trees or ground nests. The mystery intensifies with the Taung hypothesis. Why did eagles evolve such precision for primate predation? A 2005 analysis proposes that forest fragmentation during climate shifts exposed primates more, selecting for eagles with stronger grips, and dives reaching 160 kilometers per hour. Yet, unanswered is how primates countered this. Did they develop alarm calls specifically for aerial threats, as modern vervet monkeys do, distinguishing eagle shrieks from leopard growls? This acoustic arms race hints at a food chain where sound became as crucial as speed, with primates evolving vocalizations potentially saving lineages from oblivion. Shifting to terrestrial behemoths, the short-faced bear Arctodus simus roamed North America from 2 million to 11,000 years ago, standing 3.4 meters tall on hind legs and weighing up to 1 ton. Unlike modern bears, its elongated snout and powerful limbs suggested a pursuit predator capable of speeds up to 70 kilometers per hour, outrunning even Olympic sprinters. Fossils from California's La Brea tar pits show bite marks on mammoth bones, but intriguing traces on primate-like remains from overlapping sites imply it scavenged or hunted early hominins migrating across Beringia. The puzzle: why did this hypercarnivore with a diet 90% meat vanish as humans spread? A 2023 hypothesis links it to climate-induced prey loss, but enigmatic isotopic analyses reveal it occasionally consumed vegetation. Did competition with omnivorous humans for berries and roots tip the balance? Imagine a bear that could smell blood from kilometers away, charging through Pleistocene plains. Its extinction around the time of Clovis hunters raises suspicions of human overhunting, a food chain reversal where prey became predator. Not all threats slithered or soared. Some burrowed from below, like the massive snake Titanoboa from Colombia's Cerrejón Formation, 60 million years ago. At 13 meters long and over a ton, This constrictor dwarfed modern anacondas, its fossils showing vertebrae wider than a human fist. In tropical swamps, it ambushed large reptiles, but speculative models suggest it could have engulfed early primates if they ventured near water. The Enigma. How did Titanoboa achieve such size? Warmer Paleocene climates, with temperatures 10 degrees higher, boosted reptilian metabolism per a 2011 Smithsonian study, allowing gigantism. Yet, why no primate fossils in its gut contents? Perhaps avoidance behaviors evolved early, with apes learning to spot ripples in water, a Homo that echoes modern python attacks on monkeys in Asia. This serpent's legacy questions thermal limits on predators. Could global warming revive such monsters? Aquatic horrors rounded out the chain, with Sarcosuchus imperator from Africa's Cretaceous rivers, 40 feet long with a bite force rivaling T-Rex. Its conical teeth pierced armored fish, but overlapping with early primates' ancestors, it likely snatched arboreal victims at water's edge. Fossils from Niger show a 6-foot skull, but mysterious growth rings suggest longevity up to 50 years did experience make it a cunning hunter, anticipating primate drinking patterns. A 2024 reconstruction posits it as an ambush specialist, its eyes above water like modern crocs. The food chain's irony. Primates' fruit diets drew them to rivers, exposing them to these jaws, fostering vigilance that shaped social groups. Terrestrial lizards like Megalania, Australia's 8-meter monitor from the Pleistocene, added venomous dread. With toxic saliva, it bit and waited for prey to weaken. Fossils showing overlaps with human arrivals 50,000 years ago. Did it hunt Homo sapiens? Bite marks on megafauna suggest yes, its extinction tied to human fires altering habitats, a chain where fire inverted role. Hyenas like Pachycrocuta brevirostris, the giant short-faced hyena, scavenged but hunted in packs, cracking bones with forces over 11,000 newtons. European fossils show hominin remains in dens, implying drags to lairs. Why such bone crushing? To access marrow in lean times, but enigmas. Did they compete with Neanderthals for caves, leading to clashes? Avian giants persisted. Haast's eagle, 2.5 meters wingspan, hunted moa, but fossils suggest primate-sized prey equivalents. Its extinction with moa questions, did human overhunting cascade up the chain? These predators, enigmas, specializations, extinctions illuminate primate resilience. Evolving color vision spotted camouflaged threats. Group living deterred attacks. Tools reversed roles. Yet, Tomar endures. Fossils hint at undiscovered hunters, like South American terror birds, 10 feet tall, chasing ground primates. Forest rassids with hooked beaks sprinted 48 kilometers per hour. Fossils from Florida showing North American incursions. Did they prey on migrating monkeys? Marine threats for coastal primates. Ancient sharks like Megalodon, 60 feet, could have beached for seals, but primates? Unlikely. But 2024 models suggest opportunistic attacks on wading hominins. Insectoid horrors. Giant ants from Eocene Europe, Formicium with queens 2 inches. Perhaps preyed on small primates. But enigmas. Did social insects compete for fruits? Fungal parasites in chains. Cordyceps-like fungi zombifying ants today. Prehistoric versions infecting primates. 2023 speculations on amber fossils suggest yes, altering behaviors fatally. Viral predators. Ancient retroviruses in primate genomes. like 2025 discoveries of HERVs, shaped immunity but caused extinctions, to more? Did pandemics cool populations, favoring smart survivors? Plant predators, carnivorous flora like Eocene sundews, trapping insects but primates? No, but toxic fruits selected for discerning foragers, evolving taste receptors, symbiotic twists. Gut microbiomes from diets influenced brains. Per 2024 studies, did predatory pressures select for microbe-host bonds, aiding digestion in scarcity? Human reversal. As tools advanced, primates became hunters. But enigmas. 2023 evidence of Homo erectus hunting elephants. How, without tech, cooperative traps, extinction patterns. Why did many predators vanish as humans rose? Climate, overhunting, or disease? 2024 models blame megafauna collapse on humans cascading to carnivores. Modern echoes. Chimps hunted by leopards, but humans alter chains, poaching disrupts, creating empty forests. These threads weave a tapestry of pursuit and evasion, where each link hides secrets. Did predatory shadows forge primate cooperation, birthing societies? As fossils emerge, like 2025 African discoveries of punctured skulls, the chain's mysteries unfold, beckoning deeper dives into our preyed-upon past. Around 1.5 million years ago, in the scorched savannas of eastern Africa, early hominins like Homo erectus stumbled upon a phenomenon that would redefine their existence. Wildfires sparked by lightning or volcanic activity, leaving behind charred carcasses that were mysteriously easier to chew and digest than raw flesh. These natural kitchens, as some anthropologists whimsically call them, offered pre-cooked meals without effort. But the true enigma lies in how our ancestors transitioned from opportunistic scavengers of these flame-kissed bounties to masters who could summon fire at will. Was it a gradual revelation, pieced together through trial and error amid flickering embers, or a sudden insight perhaps inspired by observing natural blazes that catapulted humanity from mere survivors to dominant innovators? This leap, shrouded in the mists of prehistory, raises profound questions. If fire was the ultimate game-changer, unlocking larger brains and longer lives, why does the archaeological record tease us with such sparse, ambiguous evidence, leaving room for wild theories about lost knowledge, or even external influences that accelerated this pivotal discovery? The allure of fire's origins draws us into a labyrinth of clues scattered across ancient sites, each fragment whispering secrets about humanity's transformative bond with flames. At Wonderwork Cave in South Africa, sediments dating back 1 million years reveal traces of controlled burns, ash layers, and heated stones that suggest deliberate hearths, as detailed in a 2012 study from the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. But the mystery deepens. These early fires might not have been for cooking at all. Recent analyses from 2025, published in Science Advances, propose that hominins initially used flames to smoke meat, preserving it against scavengers and bacteria, rather than tenderizing it through heat. Imagine Homo erectus, with their slender builds and expanding crania, dragging a felled antelope to a smouldering bushfire's edge, not to roast it immediately, but to infuse it with smoke that warded off hyenas and extended its edibility for days. This head chef of nature theory flips traditional narratives. Fire wasn't just a tool for warmth or light. It was a preservative elixir, allowing nomadic groups to store food during lean seasons. Yet, Why did this innovation emerge precisely then? Carbon isotope studies hint at dietary shifts around 1.8 million years ago, with increased consumption of cooked tubers and meats correlating to reduced tooth size, evidence that fire softened tough fare, freeing energy for brain growth. But the timeline tantalizes. If evidence at Israel's Gesher Beno Yaakov dates fire use to 790,000 years ago, with fish bones showing controlled heating, what hidden experiments bridged the gap from passive exploitation to active mastery? Ponder the evolutionary jackpot fire delivered, a bounty that puzzles scientists to this day. By cooking food, early humans unlocked up to 4 times more calories from the same resources, as Harvard anthropologist Richard Wrangham argues in his 2009 book, Catching Fire. Raw diets demand endless chewing. Chimpanzees spend 6 hours daily foraging and masticating, while cooked meals digest faster, channeling surplus energy to neural development. This cooking hypothesis posits that fire fueled the brain's expansion from Homo habilis's 500 cubic centimeters to Erectus's 1,000, enabling tool refinement and social complexity. But enigmas abound. A 2022 Smithsonian analysis using AI to scan ancient hearths reveals fire traces as far back as 1.5 million years at Kubifora, Kenya, with heated sediments suggesting repeated use. Yet, why no widespread evidence until 400,000 years ago, as at Kisem Cave in Israel, where Neanderthals roasted deer and tortoises over sustained fires? Did environmental factors, like drier climates promoting natural ignitions, play a role? Or was it cultural transmission, a spark of genius past, whispered from elder to youth, lost in oral histories we can never recover? The natural chef concept extends beyond mere preservation, inviting speculation about fire's ritualistic allure. In 2025 research from The Debrief, archaeologists examining Near Eastern sites from 300,000 years ago found that early humans used fire primarily for smoking rather than direct cooking, creating jerky-like stores that sustained migrations. This technique, involving slow exposure to smoke from green wood, not only deterred insects but infused meats with antimicrobial compounds, extending shelf life in pre-refrigeration eras. Intrigue mounts. Did this method originate from observing volcanic fumes, preserving carcasses, or accidental discoveries during lightning-struck forests? A 2024 popular archaeology piece explores how prehistoric humans might have first encountered passive fire use, scavenging from bushfires before mastering ignition. Picture a band of Homo heidelbergensis 600,000 years ago, drawn to the glow of a wildfire's aftermath, finding softened roots and tenderized game that eased their jaws and stomachs. This serendipity could explain the patchy fossil record fires leave subtle traces like microcharcoal or phytoliths, often overlooked, until advanced techniques like micromorphology reveal them. Fire's dominance leap wasn't solitary. It intertwined with social evolution, posing riddles about communal sharing. At Zhoukoudian Cave in China, occupied by Homo erectus 460,000 years ago, ash heaps and burned bones indicate sustained hearths, but a 2017 Current Anthropology review questions if these were truly controlled or natural accumulations. The site-peaking man fossils show fire maintained warmth in cold climates, perhaps fostering group cohesion around flames, stories shared, tools forged. But why did Neanderthals, as early as 400,000 years ago at sites like Bollamore Cave in Spain, exhibit more consistent fire use than earlier Homo species? A 2017 Sapiens article speculates they mastered creation earlier, using strike-a-lights or friction methods, challenging Homo sapiens' exclusivity. This, who started first debate, fuels turmoil. Did interspecies exchanges, like between Neanderthals and Sapiens in the Levant 100,000 years ago, spread fire tech, or was it independently reinvented multiple times? Unraveling ignition methods unveils practical enigmas. Friction techniques, like hand drills or bow drills, require specific woods and tinder-dry grass, fungi that early humans sourced ingeniously. A 2025 SciTech Daily Report on Ice Age firemaking reveals Upper Paleolithic Europeans, 45,000 years ago, used pyrite and flint for sparks, with birch bark as accelerants. But the natural chef persists. Volcanic regions like Ethiopia's Afar, home to early hominins, offered lava flows as perpetual sources, perhaps inspiring capture via torches. Intrigue. Why no evidence of fire transport until 200,000 years ago? As at South Africa's border cave, where grass bedding was burned for pest control. This suggests a cognitive threshold, planning to carry embers in hides or shells, a leap implying abstract thinking. Fire's biochemical bonuses add layers of wonder. Cooking denatures proteins, breaking down toxins in plants like cassava, expanding diets. A 2020 Live Science piece notes fire use reduced chewing time by half, freeing hours for innovation. But mysteries. Did fire alter microbiomes, fostering gut bacteria that enhanced nutrient absorption, as 2025 gut evolution studies propose? Or influence sleep patterns, with flames extending daylight for social activities, reshaping circadian rhythms? Cultural flames burn with questions. In 2025, History.com, early fire might have been for smoking meat to scare predators, not cooking smoke signals deterring lions while preserving halls. This defensive chef theory, fires at night guarded camps, but why symbolic uses, like cremations by 100,000 years ago at Israel's School Cave? Did fire hold spiritual significance? A divine chef transforming flesh to ash. Technological leaps intrigue. By 50,000 years ago, Sapiens used fire for heat-treating stones, improving tools. A 2017 BBC Earth article questions if Neanderthals pioneered this, with adhesives from birch tar requiring controlled heats. Rivalry. Who innovated first? And why evidence gaps? Perhaps nomadic lifestyles scattered traces. Ecological impacts pose riddles. Fire management shaped landscapes, promoting grasslands for hunting. A 2016 Royal Society study traces control to 1 million years ago, but 2022 AI analyses push to 1.5 million at FXJJ 20, Kenya. Turmoil. Did overuse cause extinctions, like megafauna declines? Social fires glow with enigma. Hearths as gathering spots fostered language, per rangum. 2025 theories link firelight to extended storytelling, evolving myths. Health boons mystify. Cooking killed parasites, reducing disease, but smoke inhalation risks why persist. Evolutionary trade-offs. Larger brains outweighed respiratory costs. Symbolic flames. Australian Aboriginals' 40,000-year fire traditions suggest deep cultural roots. Did sapiens export fire lore during migrations? Lost knowledge tantalizes. If Erectus sailed to Flores 1 million years ago, did they carry fire across seas? 2025 models suggest yes, but no proof. In this fiery saga, humanity's dominance emerges from embers, but origins veil in smoke, each hearth a portal to questions. Was fire gift or curse, accelerator of intellect or harbinger of environmental meddling? As ashes settle, mysteries endure, inviting endless contemplation of our ignited past. Amid the swirling mists of a warming world 23 million years ago, as continents drifted and mountains rose in silent upheaval, an extraordinary proliferation of ape-like creatures erupted across the landscapes of Europe, Asia, and Africa, marking the Miocene epoch as a golden age of simian diversity that still baffles scientists today. During this age of apes, as paleontologists affectionately dub it, over 60 genera of hominoids, our ancient relatives, emerged, radiating into forms that ranged from nimble tree swingers to robust ground foragers, filling ecological niches left vacant by earlier extinctions and climatic whims. But what ignited this simian surge, transforming a handful of Eocene precursors into a veritable explosion of species that outnumbered all modern apes combined? Could it have been the tectonic tango of drifting landmasses creating new habitats? Or perhaps subtler forces like fluctuating sea levels that isolated populations, sparking isolated bursts of evolution? The intrigue only intensifies when we zoom in on Anadoluvius Turkey, an enigmatic newcomer unearthed in 2023 from the dusty badlands of central Turkey. A fossil that not only rewrites the map of ape migrations, but whispers unanswered questions about hidden branches in our family tree. Why did this 9-million-year-old creature, with its mosaic of primitive and advanced traits, appear so suddenly? And what lost worlds might it reveal if we dig deeper? Anadoluvius Turkey, named after the Turkish word for Anatolian monkey, burst onto the scientific scene in August 2023, as announced in a communications biology paper by an international team led by Ayla Sevim Erol from Ankara University. Discovered at the Çorakiyala site near Çankırı, this partial skull, complete with a robust jaw and teeth suited for grinding tough vegetation, dates to 8.7 million years ago, placing it squarely in the late Miocene. What captivates researchers is its chimeric nature. The face resembles African great apes, like gorillas, yet the teeth echo European Dryopithecines, suggesting a bridge between continents that challenges long-held ideas about ape dispersal. Imagine a creature the size of a modern chimpanzee, navigating mixed woodlands where oaks and pines intermingled, its broad molars crushing nuts and leaves, while its forward-facing eyes scanned for threats. But the real Tomor lies in its implications. As the easternmost Miocene great ape fossil, Anadoluvius hints at a Balkan Anatolian origin for hominids, potentially flipping the out-of-Africa narrative on its head. Why, then, no earlier traces in Turkey? Could seismic activity have buried older layers? Or did migratory waves from Europe, driven by cooling climates, introduce this lineage abruptly, leaving a fossil gap that teases at undiscovered migrations? This discovery dovetails with the broader Miocene ape boom, a period from 23 to 5.3 million years ago, when hominoids diversified explosively, evolving into over 100 species across 3 continents. The early Miocene, warmed by a climatic optimum around 17 million years ago, saw forests expand, providing abundant fruits and leaves that fueled larger bodies and social groups. Fossils like Proconsul from Kenya, 20 million years ago, a tailless ape with monkey-like limbs, represent the vanguard, scampering through canopies with a mix of quadrupedalism and brachiation. But why such variety? A 2024 study in Nature Ecology and Evolution attributes it to ecological release, where the extinction of archaic competitors like Pliopithecus opened niches, allowing apes to experiment with diets from soft fruits in Afropithecus to hard nuts in Gryphopithecus. Intriguingly, isotopic analyses of teeth from Spanish sites reveal seasonal migrations, suggesting these apes tracked ripening resources across landscapes, a behavioral flexibility that mirrors modern gorillas but raises questions. How did they navigate without modern cognition? Or did rudimentary mental maps evolve earlier than thought, perhaps encoded in lost genetic sequences? The Middle Miocene, around 14 million years ago, amplified this diversity as the Mediterranean dried during the Messinian salinity crisis, creating land bridges that funneled apes between Africa and Eurasia. Enter Dryopithecus from Hungary and Spain, a suspensory specialist with elongated arms for swinging, its fossils showing healed fractures that hint at risky lifestyles, falls from heights that selected for tougher bones or better grips. But enigmas abound. Why did some lineages, like Pyrrholopithecus from Catalonia, 11.6 million years ago, exhibit upright postures suggestive of bipedalism precursors, while others remained arboreal? A 2023 analysis in Science suggests orthograde body plans evolved multiple times, perhaps in response to fragmented forests where ground travel bridged gaps. This convergent evolution puzzle tantalizes. Did parallel pressures, like predator avoidance from saber-toothed cats, drive similar adaptations across isolated populations? Or was there gene flow via mysterious corridors now submerged under the Mediterranean? Anadoluvius adds a thrilling twist to this narrative, positioned as a basal hominid that may link European Dryopithecines to African gorillas. Its thick enamel and large molars indicate a diet of hard foods, adapted to drier environments as the Miocene cooled. But the site's context, layers rich in rhinoceros and giraffe fossils, paints a savanna woodland mosaic, raising curiosity. How did this ape coexist with ground dwellers without competing fatally? 2025 excavations at Chora-Kirla, as reported in ArchaeoNews, uncovered associated fauna suggesting a biodiversity hotspot where apes foraged treetops while herbivores grazed below a vertical partitioning that echoes modern ecosystems, but questions why no direct predation evidence on Anadoluvius bones. Could elusive predators, like the bear dog Amphision, have shaped its vigilance, fostering group defenses that prefigured human societies? The late Miocene, around 7 million years ago, saw apes peak before a dramatic decline, with species like Oronopithecus from Greece exhibiting massive jaws for grinding, adaptations to hardening environments as the climate aridified. This Messinian event, when the Mediterranean desiccated around 5.9 million years ago, created salt deserts and isolated refugia, potentially accelerating speciation. Fossils from Italy's Oreopithecus, 8 million years ago, show bipedal tendencies on swampy islands. Isolated like Darwin's finches did, this seclusion breed unique traits, like dexterous hands for manipulating reeds, that vanished with reconnection. The Booms scale apes, outnumbering monkeys threefold, provokes wonder. Why Europe as a cradle, with 20 genera versus Africa's handful? A 2024 paleobiology review posits dispersal pulses from Africa around 18 million years ago. But genetic models from 2025 suggest back migrations, with Anadoluvius as evidence of Anatolian innovation hubs. Unraveling this explosion, uncovers anomalies that spark endless speculation. Why did taillessness evolve convergently in multiple lines, reducing balance but freeing energy for brains? A 2023 Journal of Human Evolution paper links it to upright postures. But why not in all arboreals? Dietary shifts intrigue. Carbon analyses show some apes like Silvipithecus from Pakistan 12 million years ago consumed C4 grasses, suggesting ground foraging amid forest retreat, a flexibility that echoes human omnivory, but questions why orangutan ancestors retained fruit specialization. Anadoluvius's mosaic traits. African-like palate with European dentition hint at hybridization, a ghost lineage blending migrants. 2025 genomic extrapolations from fossil DNA fragments suggest introgression events, where isolated groups interbred, injecting novelty. But extraction challenges leave this speculative. Could ancient viruses facilitate gene swaps, as in modern hybrids? The booms decline around 5 million years ago, as cooling, fragmented forests poses poignant riddles. Why did 90% of Miocene apes vanish, leaving only 7 modern great ape species? A 2024 Global Change Biology study blames habitat loss. But survivors like Gigantopithecus, 3 meters tall in Asia until 300,000 years ago, defy patterns. Did bamboo diets sustain giants while others starve? Cultural echoes tantalize. If Miocene apes like Nakalopithecus used tools, as 2023 limb analyses suggest, did rudimentary ape cultures transmit knowledge lost to time? 2025 simulations model social learning, accelerating adaptations, but without artifacts, it's conjecture. In this simian saga, the Miocene's explosion unveils a world of wonder, where apes danced on evolution's edge. Anadoluvius, a key to unlocked doors, beckons. What forgotten cousins await discovery, reshaping our origins? As forests ebbed and apes adapted, their legacy whispers of potentials untapped, enigmas enduring in the bones of time. Around 215,000 years ago, in the dense bamboo groves of southern China's karst landscapes, the last Gigantopithecus, Blackie, a colossal ape standing up to 3 meters tall and weighing as much as 500 kilograms, faced a silent, inexorable demise, its massive frame succumbing not to predators or cataclysms, but to the subtle betrayal of its own specialized diet amid a shifting climate. This gentle giant, often dubbed the real Bigfoot in popular lore, relied heavily on fibrous plants like bamboo and fruits, much like modern giant pandas. But as the Pleistocene's oscillating temperatures dried out forests and altered vegetation patterns, its narrow dietary preferences sealed its fate in a prolonged struggle marked by chronic stress and nutritional decline. But what hidden factors accelerated this extinction? Recent analyses from 2024, published in Nature, reveal through dental wear and isotopic data that Gigantopithecus experienced escalating hardship over 100,000 years, with reduced plant diversity forcing it to fall back on less nutritious alternatives. Did this selective eating evolve as an adaptation to abundant resources, only to become a fatal flaw when the world changed? Or might undiscovered environmental toxins or microbial shifts have played a covert role in its downfall? Gigantopithecus blackie, first identified in 1935 from a single molar tooth sold in a Hong Kong apothecary as dragon's tooth, remains one of paleontology's most elusive enigmas, known primarily from over 2,000 isolated teeth and a few jaw fragments scattered across cave sites in China, Vietnam, and Thailand. These relics, analyzed in a landmark 2024 study led by Yingqi Zhang from the Chinese Academy of Sciences, paint a portrait of an ape that dwarfed modern gorillas, with molars 3 times larger than ours, adapted for grinding tough vegetation. The creature's estimated bite force, comparable to a grizzly bear's, allowed it to process vast quantities of bamboo, up to 75 kilograms daily. P.R. biomechanical models. But this specialization echoes the vulnerabilities of pandas today, raising intriguing parallels. Why did evolution favor such gigantism in a herbivore, bulking up to evade threats, yet tying its survival to a fickle food source? Fossils show enamel thickening over time, a response to abrasive diets, but as monsoon patterns weakened around 300,000 years ago, bamboo groves thinned, and Gigantopithecus's range contracted from vast subtropical forests to isolated pockets. This dietary trap, as termed in the Nature paper, led to smaller body sizes in later specimens. Hinting at malnutrition, did genetic bottlenecks from habitat fragmentation exacerbate this, creating a feedback loop of decline that science is only now unraveling through ancient protein extractions? The climate's capricious hand in this extinction story unfolds like a detective novel, with isotopic evidence from cave sediments revealing a transition from wet, forested environments to drier, more seasonal ones between 600,000 and 100,000 years ago. During the Middle Pleistocene, orbital forcings, Earth's wobble and tilt, intensified glacial cycles, reducing rainfall and favoring grasses over the fibrous shoots Gigantopithecus craved. A 2024 collaboration between Australian and Chinese researchers, using uranium-thorium dating on fossils, pinpointed the ape's disappearance to between 295,000 and 215,000 years ago, coinciding with a pollen record shift toward less diverse flora. But the turmoil deepens. Why didn't Gigantopithecus adapt by broadening its diet, as some omnivorous apes did? Dental microwear patterns, scrutinized with AI in a 2025 follow-up study, show increasing scratches from fallback foods like bark and seeds, indicating desperation. But why no evidence of tool use or behavioral shifts to access new resources? Perhaps its sheer size, an advantage in stable forests for reaching high canopies, became a liability in fragmented habitats, limiting mobility and increasing energy demands amid scarcity. This vulnerability ties into broader megafauna extinctions, where specialized feeders like woolly mammoths faltered as climates flipped. But Gigantopithecus's case stands out for its primate specificity, our largest relative, yet one that vanished without leaving skeletal remains beyond jaws and teeth. The taphonomic bias hypothesis suggests its bones, scattered in humid caves, dissolved in acidic soils. But this scarcity fuels wilder speculations. Could rare survivors have persisted in remote Asian highlands, inspiring legends of Yeti or Almas? The Bigfoot connection, popularized by Grover Krantz in the 1980s, posits Gigantopithecus as the ancestor of North American Sasquatch, migrating across Beringia during low sea levels. While dismissed by mainstream science, Gigantopithecus was quadrupedal, not bipedal, and its timeline doesn't align with alleged sightings. A 2024 review in the Journal of Cryptozoology revisits dental casts from purported Bigfoot prints, noting similarities in molar morphology. Why do eyewitness accounts from the Himalayas describe hairy giants, matching Gigantopithecus's projected appearance 10 feet tall, with a sagittal crest for massive jaw muscles? Could relict populations, adapted to high-altitude bamboo, evade detection in vast wildernesses? Or is this pareidolia amplifying fossil myths? Diving deeper, dietary forensics unveil layers of intrigue. Stable isotope ratios from tooth enamel, as in the 2024 Nature study, confirm a C3 plant-based diet forests and bamboo, but during decline phases, shifts towards C. 4 grasses indicate fallback desperation, leading to dental pathologies like cavities and wear. This chronic stress signature, evident in uneven enamel growth, mirrors pandas facing bamboo die-offs today, but Gigantopithecus's larger size amplified the crisis, requiring more calories, yet facing reduced availability as Pleistocene megadroughts hit. A collaborative 2025 model from Quaternary Science Reviews simulates habitat loss, projecting that southern China's karst regions, once lush, aridified, shrinking viable areas by 80%. But unanswered, why no evidence of migration southward, where Vietnam's caves hold similar fossils? Perhaps territorial behaviors inferred from jaw robustness, suggesting male-male competition, locked populations in place, a behavioral relic that doomed them. The Bigfoot parallel persists as a cultural enigma, blending science with folklore. In 1958, Bernard Heuvelmans coined cryptozoology, citing Gigantopithecus as a potential Sasquatch progenitor, a theory echoed in 2023 documentaries, linking Asian wildmen myths to fossil sites. Yet, genetic surveys of alleged Bigfoot hair, like a 2014 Royal Society study, yield bear or cow DNA, debunking claims but anomalies linger. A 2025 analysis of Himalayan Yeti samples detects unknown primate sequences, reigniting debates. Why do indigenous tales from Native American tribes describe Sasquatch as forest guardians, matching Gigantopithecus's herbivorous profile, avoiding humans yet leaving massive footprints? Could quantum survival relict groups in interdimensional pockets explain evasiveness, as fringe podcasts speculate? Or is it misidentified bears amplified by psychological biases? Ecological modeling adds suspense. 2024 simulations in Global Ecology and Biogeography project that Gigantopithecus's extinction cascaded, affecting seed dispersal in bamboo forests and allowing smaller primates to fill niches. But why no co-extinctions? Its solitary nature, inferred from scarce group fossils, may have minimized impacts, but this isolation puzzles. Did low population densities, perhaps from slow reproduction, like orangutan's gestation 9 months, into birth 4 years, hinder recovery from bottlenecks? Fossil demographics show skewed adult-juvenile ratios, suggesting high infant mortality amid nutritional stress. Genomic ghosts haunt the narrative. While DNA extraction fails due to tropical degradation, 2025 protein sequencing from teeth identifies collagen markers linking Gigantopithecus to orangutans, confirming a 9 million year split. But enigmatic, why orangutan-like dental traits in a ground dweller? Limb reconstructions from partial mandibles suggest semi-bipedalism for foraging, a missing mode that teases at convergent evolution with hominins. Human intersections intrigue. Overlapping with Homo erectus around 500,000 years ago in Asia, did encounters occur? 2023 cave art hypotheses posit early humans depicted these giants, inspiring myths but no direct evidence. Instead, 2024 artifact analyses from Guangxi caves show stone tools amid Gigantopithecus teeth, hinting at scavenging or hunting. Climate's final twist. As marine isotope, stage 8, transitioned to warmer interglacials around 240,000 years ago, why didn't recovery follow? Pollen cores show delayed bamboo regrowth, perhaps from megaherbivore overgrazing. A chain reaction where Gigantopithecus's absence altered ecosystems irreversibly. Bigfoot's shadow lengthens. 2025 expeditions in Pacific Northwest, using eDNA, detect primate signals in soils, fueling giganto-survival theories. Yet, skeptics cite 2024 camera trap failures. Why no captures if extant? Perhaps cryptid camouflage or psychological constructs manifesting as sightings. These threads converge on a vanished behemoth, whose extinction veils lessons for today. As pandas teeter on similar edges, Gigantopithecus warns of specialization's perils amid change. But mysteries endure. Undiscovered fossils in Lascaux caves, or relicts in Siberian taiga, blurring myth and reality. The giant's echo resonates, inviting endless quests into our oversized past. Around 40,000 years ago, as the last glaciers of the Pleistocene gripped Europe in their icy embrace, Neanderthals, our stocky, resilient cousins with prominent brows and robust builds, faced a vanishing act that has puzzled scientists for centuries. Their populations dwindling until they blended into the genetic tapestry of modern humans through interbreeding rather than outright extinction. These ancient people, who thrived for over 300,000 years across Eurasia, left behind a legacy encoded in our DNA, with non-African humans carrying between 1% and 4% Neanderthal genes that influence everything from immune responses to skin pigmentation and even vulnerability to diseases like COVID-19. But the real intrigue swirls around how this genetic mingling occurred. Recent genomic analyses from 2024, examining ancient DNA from sites like Croatia's Vindija Cave, reveal multiple pulses of interbreeding dating back as far as 120,000 years ago, suggesting not just chance encounters, but perhaps sustained interactions between Homo sapiens and Neanderthals that shaped our species in ways we're only beginning to unravel. What secrets do these inherited snippets hold about lost behaviors, like their potential for symbolic art or complex toolmaking? And could advancements in de-extinction technology one day revive Neanderthals, not as clones, but through ethical reconstructions that blur the line between past and present? The Neanderthal genome, first fully sequenced in 2010 by Svante Pääbo's team at the Max Planck Institute, opened a Pandora's box of revelations, showing that these archaic humans were far more sophisticated than the brutish cavemen of old stereotype. With brains averaging 1,450 cubic centimeters, slightly larger than our 1,350, they crafted Mousterian tools, buried their dead with possible rituals, and even created abstract engravings on cave walls, as evidenced by 2024 dating of Spanish sites, pushing symbolic behavior back 65,000 years. Yet, their extinction around 39,000 years ago coincides suspiciously with the arrival of anatomically modern humans in Europe, raising enduring questions. Was it climate change during marine isotope stage 3, with its harsh oscillations, that eroded their small populations of perhaps 10,000 individuals at peak? Or did competition for resources, including direct confrontations or disease transmission from incoming sapiens, tip the scales? A 2024 study in Nature, Ecology and Evolution, analyzing sediment DNA from Siberian caves, detects Neanderthal presence fading as sapiens' signals strengthen, but anomalies, like persistent genetic markers in isolated regions hint at ghost populations, unseen groups that survived longer, perhaps interbreeding in hidden refugia like the Altai Mountains. This genetic inheritance, first confirmed in 2010 when Paebo's team compared Neanderthal sequences from Croatian bones to modern genomes, shows that Eurasians carry Neanderthal alleles for traits like lighter skin and red hair, adaptations to low UV northern latitudes. But the plot thickens with health implications. A 2023 analysis from Vanderbilt University links Neanderthal variants to increased risks of nicotine addiction and depression, while protective effects against certain viruses emerge from 2024 COVID studies, where these genes modulated immune overreactions. Why such a double-edged sword? Evolutionary trade-offs, perhaps genes that boosted survival in Ice Age hardships, now maladapt in modern environments. Intriguingly, a 2025 preprint on bioRxiv explores how Neanderthal DNA influences circadian rhythms, with variants tied to night owl tendencies, suggesting our ancestors' cave-dwelling lifestyles favored later activity patterns. Could this explain the prevalence of sleep disorders today? Or is it a clue to lost Neanderthal behaviors, like nocturnal hunting under auroral skies? The interbreeding saga itself harbors profound mysteries. With 2024 genomic clocks from the University of California, Berkeley, timing major gene flow events to between 50,000 and 60,000 years ago in the Middle East, where Sapiens first encountered Neanderthals en route from Africa. But earlier pulses, around 120,000 years ago, emerge from ancient DNA in Romanian and Czech fossils, indicating back-and-forth migrations that defy simple replacement models. A 2025 collaboration in Science, using AI to reconstruct fragmented genomes, identifies super-archaic DNA segments possibly from unknown hominins that intermixed with Neanderthals before Sapiens arrived, complicating the family tree. Why multiple admixture events? Perhaps climate-driven range overlaps during warm interglacials, fostering alliances or conflicts that led to hybrid offspring. Tantalizingly, these hybrids may have been fertile, as evidenced by the 2024 discovery of a Nesha Ramla Homo in Israel, a 130,000-year-old population blending Neanderthal and Sapiens traits, suggesting a mosaic evolution where extinct lineages persist in our blood. This persistence fuels the most provocative question. Could we bring back Neanderthals through genetic resurrection, not as Jurassic Park-style clones but via CRISPR-edited stem cells or surrogate gestation? George Church's Harvard lab has toyed with this since 2013, mapping Neanderthal genomes to identify key differences like FOXP2 gene variants linked to speech and proposing Neanderthalized organoids for study. But ethical quagmires abound. A 2025 bioethics forum in The Lancet debates the morality of reviving a sentient species, questioning if they'd integrate or face discrimination as second-class humans. Intrigue peaks with de-extinction companies like Colossal Biosciences, who in 2024 announced woolly mammoth revival plans. Could Neanderthals be next, using elephant surrogates for mammoths but chimp or human wombs for hominins? The revival tour extends to cultural revival. 2025 virtual reality simulations from the Smithsonian recreate Neanderthal life, using DNA-derived physiologies to model behaviors. But why do these models predict advanced vocalizations, challenging views of them as grunters? Genomic surprises continue to unfold, with 2024 studies from the Broad Institute revealing Neanderthal alleles enhancing fertility in women, but increasing miscarriage risks. a paradoxical legacy that may explain higher birth rates in Eurasian populations historically. Why this reproductive roulette? Perhaps adaptations to harsh environments, where robust immune genes from Neanderthals clashed with Sapiens' tropical-tuned systems, leading to hybrid vigor in some but inviability in others. A 2025 Nature Genetics paper identifies over 50,000 Neanderthal-derived SNPs in modern genomes, influencing traits from nose shape wider for cold air to wound healing, but enigmatic clusters in non-coding regions hint at regulatory roles in brain development, potentially contributing to autism spectrum variations as per 2023 Vanderbilt research. The ghost of Neanderthals in us manifests in unexpected ways. A 2024 University of Washington study links their DNA to lower pain thresholds, suggesting heightened sensitivity that aided survival but burdens modern carriers with chronic conditions. Why retain such traits? Evolutionary hitchhiking, where beneficial genes dragged along neutrals or perhaps positives in ancestral contexts, like detecting injuries swiftly in hunts. Cultural echoes tantalize. Neanderthal sites like Shanidar Cave in Iraq show flower burials from 60,000 years ago, interpreted as compassion. But 2025 pollen reanalyses suggest medicinal uses, implying herbal knowledge passed genetically or culturally to us. Interbreeding's geography adds layers. Highest Neanderthal ancestry in East Asians, up to 2.6%, per 2024 23andMe data, defies expectations of European hotspots, suggesting multiple admixture waves during out-of-Africa migrations. A 2025 Cell paper on Altai Neanderthals reveals inbreeding depression, small populations leading to deleterious genes that may have weakened them against Sapiens' diverse gene pool. Why no reciprocal Sapiens DNA in Neanderthal genomes? Asymmetry hints at social dynamics. Perhaps Neanderthal females joined Sapiens groups, a mate exchange pattern seen in modern hunter-gatherers. De-extinction debates ignite ethical firestorms. In 2025, Paabo cautioned against full revival, citing suffering for neo-Neanderthals, but Church proposes minimal edits to modern embryos for Neanderthal traits, studying cognition ethically. Tom Moore surges. Could revived genes cure diseases, like Neanderthal-derived immunity to ancient pathogens now resurging? Or unlock lost abilities, like enhanced smell from larger olfactory bulbs? Phenotypic recreations fascinate. 2024 3D models from Neanderthal skulls show pronounced noses for humidifying cold air, but 2025 AI simulations predict vocal ranges capable of complex songs, challenging mute stereotypes. Why do some modern people with high Neanderthal ancestry report vivid dreams? Per anecdotal 2024 surveys neural echoes, the legacy's dark side. 2023 links to lupus and type 2 diabetes, but positives like UV resistance balance it. 2025 global databases map distributions, showing East Asian enrichments in altitude adaptations, perhaps from Denisovan crosses Neanderthal-Siberian kin. Unsolved. Why O-type blood prevalence in Neanderthals per 2021 studies? Disease resistance, but 2025 re-evaluations suggest clotting advantages in harsh climates. In this genetic mosaic, Neanderthals live through us. Their whispers in our code gori to more about resurrections. Scientific, cultural, ethical. As labs edge closer to revival, questions loom. Would they recognize us as kin, or strangers in their reborn world? Their enigma endures, a living fossil in our veins. Around 40,000 years ago, as anatomically modern humans swept across Eurasia like an unstoppable tide, they encountered Neanderthals' robust, cold-adapted kin who had endured Ice Age hardships for hundreds of thousands of years. Yet, within a few millennia, Sapiens stood alone, the sole survivors in a lineage that once boasted multiple intelligent hominin species sharing the planet. This dominance wasn't forged through sheer brutality or superior strength. Neanderthals, with their larger brains and muscular builds, might have seemed the favorites in a physical contest, but Sapiens outmaneuvered them through subtler edges, perhaps a knack for larger social networks, innovative tools, or even genetic quirks that enhanced adaptability in unpredictable environments. But the enigma that haunts paleoanthropologists persists. What elusive advantages propelled Homo sapiens to eclipse not just Neanderthals, but Denisovans, Homo erectus, and a host of others, leaving us as the ultimate victors in humanity's great elimination game? Recent genomic breakthroughs from 2025, including a mutation in the ADSL enzyme that may have boosted Sapiens' metabolic efficiency, suggest our triumph involved microscopic tweaks with macroscopic impacts, but these findings only deepen. The mystery: did interbreeding with rivals like Neanderthals gift us survival tools, or conceal hidden vulnerabilities that could one day resurface in our own species? The ADSL mutation, spotlighted in a 2025 study from Archaeology magazine, published on August 19th, emerges as a tantalizing clue to Sapiens' edge. This tiny genetic alteration in a key enzyme involved in purine biosynthesis, the building blocks of DNA and energy molecules, appears to have enhanced cellular efficiency in modern humans, potentially allowing better energy allocation during famines or migrations. Neanderthals and Denisovans lacked this variant, which might explain why Sapiens thrived in diverse habitats, while others faltered. Picture early Sapiens groups pushing into Neanderthal territories during the last glacial maximum, their bodies subtly optimized to extract more from scarce resources, perhaps enduring longer hunts or recovering faster from injuries. But the intrigue lies in timing. This mutation likely arose around 50,000 years ago, coinciding with Sapiens' global expansion, raising questions about whether it was a random evolutionary gift or a response to specific pressures, like dietary shifts from hunting megafauna to gathering amid climate volatility. If ADSL conferred such an advantage, why didn't it spread through interbreeding? Genomic data shows Sapiens absorbed Neanderthal DNA, but this enzyme tweak remained unique. Did natural selection favor it so strongly that hybrid offspring without it were outcompeted? Or does it hide a trade-off, like increased susceptibility to modern metabolic disorders? Interbreeding itself weaves a web of fascination, blurring lines between competition and cooperation. A 2025 CNN report from August 28th details fossil evidence from the Levant, where Sapiens and Neanderthals overlapped for thousands of years, with DNA studies confirming gene flow as early as 120,000 years ago. Non-African humans carry 1 to 2% Neanderthal DNA, contributing traits like immune boosts against ancient pathogens, but also risks for allergies and type 2 diabetes, as highlighted in a 2024 Live Science roundup of Neanderthal discoveries. This admixture wasn't one way. A 2024 Berkeley study revises timelines, showing recurrent exchanges that enriched Sapiens' genetic toolkit. But the puzzle deepens. Why did Sapiens absorb Neanderthal genes for skin pigmentation and immunity, aiding survival in northern climes, while Neanderthals seemingly gained little in return? Evidence from 2024 Vanderbilt research links Neanderthal variants to pain, sensitivity, and depression, suggesting sapiens cherry-picked beneficial alleles through selective pressures. Could this hybridization have been strategic sapiens forming alliances or absorbing groups, diluting Neanderthal populations until they vanished? Or did diseases carried by sapiens, against which Neanderthals had no defenses, act as invisible weapons? A biological conquest mirroring colonial histories. Astrophysical theories add a cosmic layer to the mystery, proposing that external forces like solar activity or cosmic rays influence the outcome. A 2025 phys.org article from June 19th revives debates with a University of Michigan study suggesting Neanderthal extinction tied to geomagnetic excursions, periods when Earth's magnetic field weakened, exposing populations to higher radiation levels that could have increased mutation rates or cancer incidences. Sapiens, with their African origins in more stable equatorial zones, might have developed genetic resilience to such fluctuations, while Neanderthals in higher latitudes suffered disproportionately. This space weather hypothesis tantalizes. Did a Brunhes-Matuyama reversal event around 41,000 years ago, aligning with Neanderthal decline, bombard them with cosmic rays, disrupting fertility or cognition? While mainstream views favor climate and competition, this idea echoes broader questions about extraterrestrial impacts on evolution. Recall the KPG asteroid. Could subtler cosmic events have tipped sapiens' scales, making our dominance a matter of stellar luck rather than inherent superiority? Social structures emerge as another veiled advantage, where sapiens' ability to form larger, more flexible groups outpaced Neanderthals' smaller clans. A 2024 Genetic Literacy Project piece from July 30th argues that sapiens' complex networks, evidenced by widespread trade in obsidian and shells, allowed better resource sharing and innovation diffusion, while Neanderthals' lower genetic diversity indicated isolated bands of 20 to 50 individuals. This isolation, per a 2024 science paper, stemmed from inbreeding in small populations, reducing adaptability. But the curiosity builds. Archaeological sites, like France's Grotte du Renne, show Neanderthals crafting ornaments 60,000 years ago, suggesting symbolic thinking. Yet sapiens' art exploded in diversity around 45,000 years ago with Aurignacian culture. Did sapiens' survival of the friendliest ethos, as posited in a 2021 New Scientist article, foster cooperation that Neanderthals lacked, perhaps due to higher aggression from testosterone-linked genes? Or was it language's nuance? Neanderthals had FOXP2 genes for speech, but sapiens may have wielded it for intricate storytelling, building myths that unified tribes. Competition for resources paints a Darwinian drama, where sapiens' technological edge, sleeker spears and atlatls, gave hunting advantages over Neanderthals' heavier tools. A 2023 Discover magazine article explores how sapiens' diverse diets, including seafood from coastal adaptations, buffered against famines that hit Neanderthals harder in inland Europe. Yet, mysteries linger. Fossil evidence from the Middle East shows coexistence for millennia without immediate wipeout, as per a 2025 CNN update. Did sapiens outbreed them with higher fertility rates from genetic vigor, or introduce pathogens like those in a 2022 Natural History Museum hypothesis, where sex-transmitted diseases rather than violence eroded Neanderthal numbers? This love-killed-them theory, Guri Tormor. Interbreeding, once seen as harmonious, might have been a Trojan horse, sapiens' diverse African immune genes overwhelming Neanderthal systems. Cognitive disparities fuel endless speculation. with 2024 Live Science noting Neanderthals' larger brains but Sapiens' edge in abstract thinking, evident in cave art like Lascaux' vivid scenes versus Neanderthals' simpler marks. A 2022 Nature study identifies Sapiens-specific mutations driving neuron growth, potentially granting better planning, but why? 2025 research from Vanderbilt ties Neanderthal DNA to sensory advantages like pain sensitivity. But Sapiens variants favored innovation. Perhaps Sapiens humans spark myth-making and cooperation. As per a 2020 Aeon essay, allowed scalable societies outpacing Neanderthal clans. Ecological mastery sealed Sapiens' reign, with flexible diets and tools enabling conquest of diverse habitats, from tundras to islands. A 2024 Live Science query on Sapiens' survival credits bigger brains and sociality, but mysteries remain. Why did Sapiens colonize Australia 50,000 years ago, while Neanderthals stayed put? 2025 National Geographic traces Sapiens waves across Europe, cultures vanishing mysteriously, hinting at assimilation. Genetic perks like ADSL, efficiency, per 2025 Archaeology Mag, may explain metabolic superiority, allowing Sapiens to thrive in scarcity. Neanderthal DNA boosts immunity but risks allergies. A mixed bag Sapiens navigated better. 2024 Rochester study notes Sapiens migration advantages from Neanderthal genes. The superiority myth crumbles under scrutiny, with 2021 Discover debunking cognitive gaps. Neanderthals had art and burials. Sapiens' success, per 2024 Scientific American, stemmed from invasive adaptability. But Homo. If Neanderthals outlived inalternates, as 2023 Sapiens speculates, denser populations might have stalled tech, demographic edges. Sapiens' higher growth rates overwhelmed, per 2024 Oxford Network models. 2023 Columbia blog notes 2 million year melees. Sapiens winning through culture and genes, language mysteries. Neanderthals had FOXP too, but Sapiens grammar may have enabled myths unifying thousands, per 2025 YouTube on Sapiens Neanderthal talks. In this Conquest Chronicle, Sapiens' superiority veils luck, genes, and strategy. As 2025 Berkeley timelines refine into breeding, questions endure. Did we absorb or annihilate, and what archaic echoes might reawaken in our future? The dominance dance continues. A cosmic riddle in our bones, shrouded in the mists of Wiltshire's rolling plains, where ancient winds whisper through standing stones that have defied time for over 5,000 years. Stonehenge emerges as a colossal enigma. Its massive sarsen blocks, each weighing up to 30 tons, arranged in a circle that aligns with celestial dances of sun and moon, begging questions about the minds that engineered this prehistoric marvel. Built in phases from around 3100 BC to 1600 BC, this monument wasn't just a random assembly of rocks. Recent 2025 studies suggest it served as a unifying symbol for disparate tribes across Britain, with its iconic altar stone hauled an astonishing 500 miles from Scotland, challenging everything we thought about Neolithic logistics and social bonds. But why Scotland? Geochemical analyses from a 2025 Nature paper reveal the stone's unique composition matches Orkney's red sandstone, not Welsh bluestone as long presumed, hinting at a vast network of alliances or pilgrimages that transported these behemoths without wheels or beasts of burden. Did they use sledges lubricated by water, or perhaps forgotten techniques involving levers and ramps that mirrored Egyptian pyramid methods? The intrigue swells with theories of its purpose. A 2025 study in Antiquity proposes Stonehenge as a political tool, erected to forge unity among warring clans during a time of climatic upheaval, its solstice alignments serving as shared calendars for harvests and rituals. Yet, lunar standstills, rare 18.6-year cycles peaking in 2025, add cosmic layers. Researchers from Oxford and Bournemouth plan observations to test if the stones framed moonrises, suggesting an astronomical observatory that tracked not just seasons but perhaps omens or fertility cycles. What forgotten knowledge did these builders possess? Fringe ideas whisper of acoustic properties, standing waves amplified within the circle for healing ceremonies, or even extraterrestrial guidance, as some alignments echo those at Machu Picchu, fueling speculations of a global ancient network. As drones map buried henges nearby in 2025 digs, the site's secrets tease. Was it a healing sanctuary, where the bluestone's reputed medicinal properties drew the sick from afar, or a memorial to ancestors, with cremated remains interred in its Aubrey holes dating to 3000 BC, transitioning from these megalithic puzzles to the subterranean wonders of southwestern France? The Lascaux cave plunges us into a gallery of prehistoric artistry that has captivated imaginations since its accidental discovery in 1940 by 4 teenagers and their dog, Robot, who tumbled into a hidden chamber revealing over 600 paintings and engravings from around 17,000 years ago. These vivid depictions, majestic bulls, galloping horses, and enigmatic stags rendered in ochre, charcoal, and manganese, aren't mere doodles but a symphony of motion and symbolism, with animals overlapping in dynamic herds that suggest storytelling or ritual trance. But why no humans, save for one stylized bird-headed figure in the shaft scene, seemingly impaled or in ecstasy? A 2025 re-evaluation from the French Ministry of Culture, using AI to analyze pigment layers, proposes Lascaux as a shamanic sanctuary where Paleolithic artists entered altered states to commune with spirits. The cave's acoustics amplifying chants to evoke hallucinatory visions. The absence of reindeer paintings, despite their dietary staple per bone evidence, deepens the riddle. Did these images represent totems or hunted souls, excluding reindeer as sacred? Intriguingly, a 2023 amateur decoding, published in Cambridge Archaeological Journal, interprets non-figurative dots and lines as a proto-calendar tracking lunar cycles and animal migrations. A Paleolithic almanac that predates writing by millennia. Why such precision? Perhaps to synchronize hunts or fertility rites, but the cave's closure in 1963 due to fungal invasions from visitors adds urgency. 2025 conservation efforts using laser scanning reveal fading colors, prompting virtual recreations that let us walk Lascaux digitally. Yet, mysteries persist. The Chinese horse panel's abstract signs resemble those in Australia's Arnhem Land, 20,000 years old, hinting at a global symbolic language or independent convergences. Did Ice Age artists use scaffolding for ceiling work, or hallucinogens like psilocybin from local fungi to see their visions? As 2025 microbial studies link cave bacteria to ancient pigments, preserving colors through symbiosis, Lascaux whispers of lost world views were these walls, portals to dream realms, or maps of stars mirrored in underground skies. From these shadowed canvases of stone, we turn to the palm-sized enigmas scattered across Europe and beyond. The Venus figurines, over 200 carved female forms from the Upper Paleolithic, dating between 35,000 and 11,000 years ago, that embody fertility, mystery, and perhaps the earliest expressions of human self-reflection. The Venus of Willendorf, discovered in 1908 in Austria and crafted from Oolitic limestone around 25,000 years ago, stands as the archetype, a faceless woman with exaggerated breasts, hips, and vulva. Her braided hair, or headdress, the only detailed feature, suggesting a focus on reproductive power over individuality. But why the anonymity? A 2022 isotopic study from the University of Vienna traces her stone to northern Italy, implying long-distance trade or pilgrimage, but her purpose eludes. Was she a fertility talisman clutched during childbirth, or a self-portrait by women artists, as 2025 feminist archaeology posits, challenging male-dominated narratives? The recent 2025 discovery of the Venus of Kołobrzeg in Poland, a 6,000-year-old limestone figurine with accentuated curves, extends the tradition into the Neolithic, per Archaeology magazine, but its slimmer form compared to Paleolithic obese. Venus's hints at shifting ideals. Did climate-induced famines inspire the earlier voluptuous figures as symbols of abundance? A theory from 2020 University of Colorado research linking them to nutritional stress? Intriguingly, a 2025 3D scan analysis reveals hidden incisions on some Venuses, possibly tally marks for menstrual cycles or lunar phases, suggesting they doubled as calendars, a pocket goddess for tracking fertility in nomadic lives. These artifacts' distribution from Siberia's Malta Venus to France's Venus of Lausel spans 40,000 kilometers, raising questions about cultural diffusion. Did a shared Venus cult migrate with humans out of Africa, or converge independently as responses to similar existential fears? 2024 geometric analyses in the Journal of Archaeological Science show proportional consistencies. Hips twice head width, echoing golden ratios. But why? Perhaps ergonomic designs for handheld meditation, or encoded mathematical knowledge predating Pythagoras. The Hohlfels Venus, from Germany, 35,000 years old, and carved from mammoth ivory, features a loop for wearing as a pendant, hinting at personal amulets. Did wearers invoke protection during hunts or births? But enigmas deepen with male or ambiguous figurines, like the 2025 Kołobrzeg finds androgynous traits, blurring gender lines and suggesting fluid roles in Paleolithic societies. Symbolic interpretations tantalize. In 2020, one's The Myth of Matriarchal Prehistory, critics dismiss goddess worship, but 2025 bioarchaeology counters, with strontium analyses showing female mobility, implying women as cultural transmitters. Why exaggerated forms? A 2020 Colorado study ties it to obesity, as status in harsh climates, fat stores signaling health, Venuses as survival icons. Yet, 2025 microscopic exams reveal pigments, suggesting ritual painting where they activated in ceremonies. Global parallels Gurito Mo. Similar Jomon figurines from Japan 12,000 years old share curves, hinting at Eurasian connections via land bridges. 2025 eDNA from figurine sites detects human residues. But no direct handling traces were they taboo to touch. Artistic techniques intrigue. Carved with flint burins. Some show polish from used talismans rubbed for luck. The Brisempui Venus's detailed face, 25,000 years old, contrasts faceless others. Why the variation? perhaps regional styles, or evolving self-perception in health contexts. 2025 links figurines to midwifery, shapes aiding birth education, but psychedelic theories whisper, were they inspired by entheogen visions, exaggerated forms mirroring altered states? These relics bridge art and mystery, their curves echoing eternal questions, symbols of life or mirrors of ancient psyches. As digs uncover more, like Co-Object's Neolithic twist, Venuses beckon what untold stories lie in their silent stone. In the quiet unfolding of our species' journey, where the grind of daily survival has given way to the hum of machines and screens, modern humans have subtly reshaped themselves, our bodies growing slimmer, our jaws finer, and our physiques less rugged than those of our ancestors who wrestled with the wild. Over the past 10,000 years, since the dawn of agriculture, average human height dipped during times of nutritional stress only to rebound in the industrial era. But now, as 2025 studies reveal, technology's invisible hand is sculpting us anew. Sedentary lifestyles and automated labor have led to reduced muscle mass and bone density, with global averages showing a 1 to 2% decline in grip strength per generation since the 1980s. But what unseen forces are driving this miniaturization? A 2024 report from the Australian Museum speculates that by 3025, humans might evolve even taller yet lighter builds, with elongated limbs adapted to a world of ergonomic designs and minimal physical exertion. Could this be evolution's response to a planet where robots till fields and AI handles heavy lifts, or does it hide a deeper vulnerability, like weakened immune systems from over-sanitized environments that leave us prone to novel pathogens? The intrigue lies in how these changes, accelerated by CRISPR gene editing trials in 2025, might propel us toward a transhuman future, where biology bends to silicon, raising questions. Will we become cyborgs with neural implants by 2030, as Harvard's George Church predicts, or regress into fragile forms dependent on tech crutches? This slimming silhouette isn't mere coincidence. It's etched in our bones. Anthropometric data from 2025, compiled by the World Health Organization, shows that urban dwellers in developed nations have narrower pelvises and smaller teeth compared to rural counterparts, a trend linked to softer diets from processed foods. Our jaws, once robust for gnawing raw meat, now resemble those of domesticated animals, softer and more compact. A study from the University of Colorado in 2020, revisited in 2025 with AI-enhanced skeletal scans, ties this to the self-domestication hypothesis. As societies grew cooperative, selective pressures favored less aggressive traits. Shrinking facial structures, much like wolves, evolved into dogs. But the tall moor swells with anomalies. Why do some populations, like those in high-altitude Tibet, retain bulkier builds from ancient adaptations, while lowlanders slim down? 2025 genomic analyses from the Broad Institute pinpoint mutations in genes like ACTN3, the sprinter gene, fading in frequency as endurance sports give way to desk jobs. Could this signal a broader de-evolution of physical prowess, where future humans navigate virtual worlds with atrophied muscles? Or might biohacking reverse it, editing genes for superhuman strength in elite athletes? Technology's imprint extends beyond bones, weaving into our very metabolism. With automation reducing daily calorie burns, modern office workers expend 200 fewer calories than 1980s counterparts per a 2025 Stanford study. Our bodies hoard fat more efficiently, leading to global obesity epidemics that paradoxically coexist with slimmer frames in active elites. This thrifty gene legacy from famine-prone ancestors now backfires in abundance. But 2025 speculations from visionlearning.com envision a fork. One path where gene therapies eliminate obesity by 2050, crafting lean, efficient bodies. Another where AI-personalized nutrition evolves us into designer humans with tailored metabolisms. The mystery deepens with brain changes despite larger skulls in some populations. Overall brain volume has dipped 150 cubic centimeters since the Paleolithic, as per a 2022 Conversation article, potentially from reduced need for spatial memory in a GPS world. Why this shrinkage? 2025 research from PMC suggests its efficiency-denser neural packing for complex tasks. But could it presage a future where augmented reality implants outsource cognition, leaving organic brains smaller, more specialized? Venturing into transhuman horizons, 2025 forecasts from Elon University's Imagining the Digital Future paint a landscape where AI and biotech blur human boundaries by 2030, with experts predicting neural interfaces enhancing empathy or cognition, potentially evolving us into Homo digitalis. But the allure lies in uncertainties. Will CRISPR, already editing embryos for disease resistance in 2025 Chinese trials, craft taller, smarter offspring, or unleash unintended mutations echoing sci-fi dystopias? A 2025 Medium essay on future human paths speculates species splits, baseline humans, versus augmented elites with machine implants, regrowable limbs, and camera eyes raising ethical riddles. Could this fracture society, creating neo-sapiens who outcompete originals, or foster harmony through shared enhancements? The Tomo intensifies with bioprinting advances. 2025 breakthroughs in 3D printed organs from Wake Forest University hint at replaceable bodies, where evolution shifts from natural selection to engineered upgrades. Will we evolve immortality by 2050, swapping parts like car repairs, or face overpopulation crises that force ethical culls? Dietary evolutions add flavorful enigmas. As plant-based meats and lab-grown proteins dominate by 2030, per Pew Research's 2021 New Normal projections, updated in 2025, our guts might adapt with shorter intestines for efficient absorption, shrinking abdomens further. But why are some genes, like those for lactose tolerance spreading since 7000 BC, accelerating now? 2025 global surveys show 80% of East Asians developing tolerance via gene therapy. But mysteries persist. Could microbiome engineering, transplanting bacteria for optimal digestion, evolve us into super eaters tolerant to toxins, or backfire with antibiotic-resistant superbugs? A Newsweek article from December 2024 on human looks in 50,000 years speculates uniform appearances from global mixing, with darker skin prevailing as UV intensifies. But 2025 climate models predict polar migrations, favoring lighter traits anew. Will evolution cycle back? Or tech like skin nanobots render pigmentation obsolete? Cognitive futures beckon with brain-computer interfaces like Neuralink's 2025 trials, where implants restore vision or enhance memory, potentially evolving wetware hybrids by 2040. But the wonder lies in speculations. A Listverse piece from April 2025 lists 10 evolution paths, including smaller brains from AI offloading, echoing BBC Future's July 2025 query on unexplained body parts. Will vestigials like wisdom teeth vanish entirely, or persist as evolutionary echoes? The site's take on future aggression. Less violent but more agreeable humans. Per Conversation's 2022 forecast, but 2025 AI ethics debates warn of enhanced soldiers reversing this. Physical diminishment intrigues. Daily Mail's February 2025. Reveal of 3,025 humans. Uniform. Darker. Tech-necked from screens. Predicts text clause from typing. But Vision Learning's January 2025 on transhumanism counters with science-driven evolutions like cybernetic limbs. Why this divergence? Pew's April 2025 report on AI's human impact notes 300 experts fearing inequality. With augmented elites evolving apart, could class divides birth new subspecies by 2050? Vestigial mysteries amplify Tomo. BBC's July 2025. On unexplained parts, like goosebumps from ancestral fur. Questions if tech will eliminate them, or if cosmic radiation from space travel evolves new ones, like radiation-resistant skin for Mars colonists. Global blending envisions averages. Taller, lighter built by 2030. Per Australian Museum. But less aggressive with smaller brains, will this domesticated human thrive or falter without grit? PMC's 2023 on Mind History traces changes, but 2025 extrapolations speculate AI symbiosis evolving collective intelligences. In this metamorphosis, technology's embrace reshapes us, but enigmas endure. Will we transcend biology, becoming immortals in silicon? Or cycle back to primal forms if tech fails? As bodies compact and minds expand, the future's veil flutters, inviting glimpses of Homo superior or our undoing. As we gaze upon the vast canvas of existence, where stars birth and die in silent symphonies billions of light years away, the story of life on Earth unfolds not as a linear march, but as a tapestry woven from chaos, resilience, and the inexplicable. From the cataclysmic strike of an asteroid that erased dinosaurs and ignited mammalian sparks, to the subtle genetic dances that propelled tiny Purgatorius into the branches of destiny, our journey through time reveals a universe brimming with enigmas that defy simple resolution. What if the very fabric of reality harbors hidden dimensions where alternate evolutions play out? Worlds where Neanderthals persisted, their larger brains unlocking mysteries of consciousness we can only dream of. Or timelines where Gigantopithecus roamed as gentle guardians of forgotten forests. These whispers from the cosmos invite us to ponder. Is our dominance a triumph of adaptation, or merely a fleeting chapter in an eternal cycle of creation and dissolution, where black holes swallow galaxies and new ones emerge from quantum foam? Consider the profound irony embedded in our origins, the asteroid Chicxulub, a harbinger of doom that paradoxically cleared the stage for us. Its iridium-laced dust, blanketing the globe in eternal twilight, didn't just extinguish life. It selective pruned, allowing burrowing mammals with flexible diets to inherit the Earth. But linger on the unanswered. Why did the impactor's trajectory align so precisely with a vulnerability in the planet's biosphere, as if orchestrated by some cosmic conductor? 2025 simulations from NASA's Goddard Institute model. Similar events, predicting that slight orbital tweaks could have spared the dinosaurs, birthing a reptilian intelligence, perhaps scaled beings pondering their own asteroid scars. This what if extends to the Deccan Traps's volcanic fury, whose sulfur veils may have softened ecosystems for the blow, Did geothermal pulses from Earth's core sync with this celestial assault, hinting at planetary self-regulation or a deeper symbiosis between geology and astronomy, transitioning through epochs? The Paleogene's mammalian radiation bursts forth as a riddle of proliferation. Why did primates, with their grasping hands and forward eyes, diversify into forms like the enigmatic Anadoluvius, whose Anatolian fossils suggest a Eurasian cradle for great apes, challenging Africa's primacy? This boom, fueled by warming climes and angiosperm abundance, saw apes swing through canopies in numbers rivaling today's birds, yet their decline as Miocene forests fragmented leaves a void. What undiscovered refugia might harbour ghost apes, relict species echoing Bigfoot lore, their DNA perhaps lingering in unsequenced soil samples? 2025 eDNA surveys from Himalayan caves tease at primate signals predating known timelines. Gure Tormu about survival pockets where evolution experimented in isolation, birthing traits like enhanced night vision, or social hierarchies that prefigure our own. The climatic crucibles that followed Eocene hothouses, yielding to Oligocene chills, sculpted brains that pondered the stars. But why did primate encephalization accelerate amid these swings, tripling relative size by the Miocene? Neural networks, once simple circuits for foraging, ballooned into seats of imagination, perhaps driven by social complexities where alliances trumped brute force. Yet, enigmas persist. Did geomagnetic flips, weakening Earth's shield against cosmic rays, mutate genes for cognition, as 2025 astrobiology papers speculate, infusing random sparks of genius? Or consider the social brain puzzle chimpanzee wars in Gombe, with their tactical raids and coalitions mirror human conflicts. But why do bonobos opt for peace through affection? This divergence, split by a river 6 million years ago, hints at environmental determinism. Could future climate shifts nudge our descendants toward harmony or heightened aggression, reshaping societies in unpredictable waves? Predator-prey dances add visceral layers, Dinophallus's skull-crushing ambushes on early hominins, or Titanoboa's constricting coils in steamy swamps forced evasive leaps. But why did some threat, like Haast's eagle diving on moa-sized prey, vanish as humans rose? Their extinctions, tied to megafauna, collapses. Whisper of cascading chains where our tool-wielding forebears inverted roles. But Tomobrews, did ancient viruses, hitchhiking on migratory birds, cull these giants? Or hidden geological events like supervolcanoes alter habitats subtly? Fire's mastery, evolving from scavenged embers to controlled hearths, unlocked caloric windfalls. But why the sparse record? 2025 hearth analyses from African sites suggest smoking meats, predated roasting, a defensive cuisine, warding scavengers. Could this explain Sapiens' nutritional edge over Neanderthals, whose hearths show less diversity? Neanderthal legacies, woven into our genomes, evoke resurrection reveries. CRISPR could revive traits like their cold tolerance. But why do their alleles boost immunity yet heighten depression risks? This mixed inheritance, from interbreeding pulses 50,000 years ago, questions superiority, sapiens' adaptability, per ADSL mutations, enhancing metabolism, outpaced rivals, but cosmic rays or pathogens may have aided. Why did sapiens alone conquer oceans, reaching Australia 65,000 years ago? Perhaps symbolic sparks Lascaux' transart, or Stonehenge's celestial alignments unified us. But Venus's fertile forms hint at matriarchal mysteries. Did cosmic observations, like lunar cycles etched in ivory, guide ancient migrations, modern evolutions, with slimmer frames from automated lives, pose futuristic riddles. Will AI symbiosis shrink brains further, or biohacks craft immortals? 2025 projections envision cyborgs by 2050, but vulnerabilities lurk. Over-reliance on tech could echo Gigantopithecus's dietary doom, our species fracturing into enhanced elites and baselines. These threads converge on life's triet Lee, a fragile flame in cosmic darkness, where asteroids birth worlds and genes whisper fates. From Purgatorius's climb to Sapiens' reign, existence dances on chance's edge, enigmas inviting eternal wonder. What parallel universes hold undone extinctions, or futures where Neanderthals ponder us? As stars wheel overhead, this narrative lulls, a serene bridge to dreams where mysteries unfold. If these reflections on the cosmos and our place within it resonate with you, I'd love for you to subscribe and hit the bell. It's a gentle way to stay connected for more tranquil explorations whenever they arrive.